Chapter 567. I'll do it myself. Chu Bei looked at the Black Dragon Mountain Country King. The moment he said those words, the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field suddenly trembled, as though it was suddenly engulfed by a mysterious and terrifying force. In the next moment, in every corner of the Black Dragon Mountain star field, an image was projected in the sky. Callow Empire. Your Majesty, quickly look at the sky. Isn't he the lord that annihilated the Newell and Shan family? Who is that person with the golden crown beside him? Looking at his clothes, he should be the king of a country. In the starry sky, the gazes of the strong warriors immediately focused on the projection. When they recognized Chu Bei, their faces couldn't help but reveal looks of shock. Other than that, they were also puzzled by the people around Chu Bei. That is the Black Dragon Mountain Country King. The Callow Empire King took a deep breath, his mouth slowly spitting out words, his words filled with shock. What? That person is the Black Dragon Mountain Country King. Why would the king be together with that mysterious person? And looking at the king, he seems to be very courteous to that person. My God, what is the background of that lord? Hearing the Callow Empire King's words, the strong warriors once again looked towards Chu Bei. They were all stunned. Earth-Human Alliance. Quickly look. Isn't that the leader? Where is the leader now? Who are those people beside him? He seems to have something to say to us. Including the Alliance leader, Hong, Thunder God, and everyone else, they all stopped what they were doing, their gazes focused on Chu Bei's body in the projection. Just at this moment, all the strong warriors in the Black Dragon Mountain star field seemed to have reached an agreement, all of them raising their heads to look towards the sky. I am the Earth's leader. Its coordinates are one of the 8 planets of the Milky Way Empire solar system. From now on, if anyone dares to have any ideas about it, I will destroy them. With an explosion, Chu Bei's voice rang out from all the projections, echoing in every corner of the Black Dragon Mountain star field. Chu Bei's voice wasn't loud, but it was enough to intimidate people's souls, causing them to feel an inexplicable sense of fear. This emperor is the master of the Black Dragon Mountain star field. Those who have designs on Earth will also be punished by the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Not long after Chu Bei had spoken, the Black Dragon Mountain King's voice sounded out. Whoosh! In an instant, the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field fell into silence. After the deathly silence, what followed was clamor. I didn't expect the Earth Lord to be so capable. I've never heard His Majesty mention protecting a planet by name. No matter what, I can't set foot in this solar system anymore. If I accidentally cause harm to this planet, it'll be too late for regrets. On this day, everyone in the Black Dragon Mountain star field had the name Earth deeply imprinted in their minds. That's great. We don't have to worry about the so-called talent scouts anymore. What happened to the Newell and Shan family will never happen again. I really didn't expect even the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield leader to give face to our leader. The most excited were the humans of the Earth Alliance. All of them were extremely excited. My friend, this disciple of yours is a star level, right? I wonder if you've thought of letting him participate in the Genius Pinnacle battle? The Black Dragon Mountain King suddenly thought of something, extending his hand and pointing at Luofeng, his gaze landing on Chu Bei. Genius Pinnacle battle? Chu Bei muttered, his eyes filled with curiosity. Mission announcement. Host's reputation points with the devouring starfield has reached 90. Almost at the same time, the system's voice resounded in Chu Bei's mind. Chu Bei was stunned, his expression quickly returning to normal. Of all the missions he had received, this wasn't the first time they required reputation points. The Black Dragon Mountain King besides saw that Chu Bei had become interested. His lips curled into a smile, immediately explaining the mission to Chu Bei. Interesting. After hearing the Black Dragon Mountain King's description, Chu Bei had enough understanding of this Genius Pinnacle battle. In the vast universe, the strong preyed on the weak, and the human race was one of the pinnacle races of the universe. However, even though they were at the pinnacle now, that didn't mean they would always be at the pinnacle. Hence, in order to not fall, the human race would work hard to nurture elites. This so-called Genius Pinnacle battle was open to all the star-level warriors of the human universe countries. Through layers and layers of selections, the strongest would be chosen, and the rewards would be generous. As for the requirements, as long as one was a star level, they could participate. During this process, the various universe countries, trillions of galaxies, and countless star-level humans would battle under absolutely fair conditions. At this level, it was enough to see a person's talent and comprehension, their level of genius. Disciple, are you mentally prepared? Chu Bei tilted his head to look at Luo Feng. His lips curled into a smile. The reason why he wanted Luo Feng to participate, the first reason was to use it to train him, increasing his battle strength. The second reason, which was the main reason, was to represent the Devouring Star Shop in the battle, to make the Devouring Star Shop's name known. After all, his new mission required the Devouring Star Shop's reputation to reach 90 points. I wonder if our Black Dragon Mountain Starfield's #1 genius will be able to enter the top 100,000 of the universe this time. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader suddenly let out a sigh. Country leader, it can't be that bad, right? Luo Feng looked at the Black Dragon Mountain country leader and couldn't help but say, from what I know, our entire Black Dragon Mountain star field has over 8,000 galaxies, with trillions of star-level warriors. Don't tell me that there hasn't been a genius that entered the top 100,000 of the universe before? Extremely difficult. Almost impossible. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader shook his head and sighed. The Ganwu universe country has over 13,000 star fields, of which there are close to 1,000 subsidiary countries. Our Black Dragon Mountain Empire is only one of the subsidiary countries of the Ganwu universe country. In terms of the number of warriors, we are a few levels lower than the Ganwu universe country's direct star fields. Looking at the past, the number of times our Black Dragon Mountain Empire's #1 genius has entered the top 10,000 of the Ganwu universe country can be counted on one hand, much less the entire human race of the universe, where there are over 1,000 such high-level countries like the Ganwu universe country. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader's gaze looked at Luo Feng, finally returning to Chu Bei. In the last genius battle, within the top 10,000 of the Ganwu universe country, there wasn't anyone from our Black Dragon Mountain star field. Is the competition that intense? Luo Feng stared wide-eyed, his gaze wavering. Right, this is our Black Dragon Mountain Empire's humiliation. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader let out a self-mocking laugh. The surrounding temperature began to drop rapidly. The air began to freeze, forming ice crystals. Country leader, you're losing your composure. Hargray seemed to have noticed the change in the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's aura, rushing forward to say. Chapter 568. I've made a fool of myself. Hearing Hargray's words, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader knew he had lost his composure, immediately keeping his emotions in check. With a thought, the surrounding temperature returned to normal. Don't worry, it won't be the same result this time, Chu Bei said with a smile. What you mean is... The Black Dragon Mountain country leader seemed to have guessed something, looking at Luo Feng. Even though from his aura, he hadn't even reached the pinnacle of the star level, however he was after all the disciple of a knight, he definitely wouldn't be as simple as he looked on the surface. This was also why he wanted to invite Luo Feng to participate in the competition. Feng, are you confident? Chu Bei looked at Luo Feng with interest. Luo Feng was slightly stunned, his gaze gradually becoming resolute. Your disciple will definitely not disappoint you. As his voice landed, a blur of black dots appeared around Luo Feng's body. The space around him actually began to warp. The pinnacle genius competition of the human universe wasn't held in the real world, but in the virtual universe. The virtual universe, according to the records, was created by the strongest warrior of the universe. He could use a special device to allow his consciousness to enter. The virtual universe's operation was 100% similar to the real world. It could be seen as a parallel world. Of course, even if a person in the virtual universe died, he would still be alive in the real world. Rumble. On the second day after Chu Bei brought Luo Feng to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire Palace, a shocking rumble resounded from the virtual universe, resounding in every corner. Not long after, in the virtual universe, in the air above the Black Dragon Mountain Island that represented the Black Dragon Mountain star field, an incomparably huge blackboard with glowing edges appeared. Looking at the blackboard, there were words that were emitting a dazzling white light. Universe Humans, Pinnacle Genius Competition. once every 10,000 years. Registration begins. It's organized by the Virtual Universe Company, along with all the universe countries. You are a genius? Unable to find an opponent at the same level? Then join the Pinnacle Genius Competition. Here, there will be many universe countries from the entire universe, trillions of geniuses engaging in intense battles. At the same time, a series of low yet majestic voices resounded from the Black Dragon Mountain Island. Looking around, one could see that this enormous notice that had appeared out of nowhere was more than 1,000,000 miles long and wide. Even on the Black Dragon Mountain Island, which could accommodate billions of people at the same time, one could clearly see it if they raised their heads. Accurately speaking, whether it was the announcement or the low voice, it didn't just appear on Black Dragon Mountain Island. It appeared on all the islands in the virtual universe. The Battle of Geniuses has begun. Haha, the grand event is about to begin. It's going to be lively. Trillions of geniuses from all the universe countries will battle. This is a huge event for the entire human race. Every year, the top 1,000 on the universe board will receive a shocking amount of rewards. By the way, are you going to sign up? Report my ass. Can't you have some self-awareness? With our strength, we'll be trampled if we go up. Isn't it better to just be a spectator? In an instant, all the cultivators on the continents that represented the high-level countries in the universe and the islands that represented the mid-level countries in the universe cheered excitedly. Then, in less than 15 minutes, the news spread from the virtual universe to the real universe. Following that, large amounts of star-level cultivators flooded into the virtual universe country to sign up for this battle. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Slaughter Space. This was a vast desert, and there were thousands of black-clothed energy bodies densely packed in the desert. These energy bodies were all at the star level 9 level. In front of them, Luo Feng floated in mid-air, surrounded by black light dots. Wong wong wong. The thousands of energy bodies moved simultaneously, bringing about a buzzing sound, strange shouts coming from their mouths, as though they had all gone mad and rushed towards Luo Feng. Against this black mass of star-level army, Luo Feng's expression didn't change. Not only was there no fear on his face, it was the exact opposite. His eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Kill. With a single word, the black light dots around Luo Feng's body began to wrap around his fists. When the first group of black-clothed energy bodies were about to reach him, Luo Feng's silhouette moved, punching out with both fists. Chila. Luo Feng's black fist flashed. As it neared the first black-clothed energy body, the latter immediately warped and its energy dispersed. Pung pung pung. Luo Feng's movements didn't seem fast. However, every time he moved, with his black light-wrapped fists landing, there would always be several black-clothed energy bodies warping and collapsing. Gradually, Luo Feng even found a balance between his movements and his punches, combining fast and slow, creating a perfect rhythm. This disciple of mine is still acceptable, right? Chu Bei laughed as he looked at the Black Dragon Mountain country leader beside him. In front of him was a projection. On it was the scene of Luo Feng fighting the 1,000 energy bodies in the slaughter space. My friend must be joking. This isn't just acceptable. In front of your disciple, the geniuses of my Black Dragon Mountain starfield are simply trash. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader looked excitedly at the projection, the smile on his face growing wider. Even though these 1,000 energy bodies weren't at the pinnacle of the star level, they were still at the star level 9 level. Looking at the entire Ganwu universe country, even though there were many geniuses that could kill them, however, those that could do it as easily as Luo Feng definitely didn't exceed 100. In the past, of all the pinnacle geniuses of the human race, the Black Dragon Mountain starfield had never entered the top 10,000. In the recent competitions, they were even outside the top 100,000. However, this time, this mysterious knight of unknown origin and Luo Feng's appearance made him see hope. Maybe, this time, he would be able to enter the top 100 of the Ganwu universe country and enter the top 1,000 of all the human universe countries. The top 100 of the Ganwu universe country, this was something he didn't even dare to think about before. Pong pong. Within the slaughter space, Luo Feng's footsteps moved, his fists continuously punching out. In just a few minutes, The close to 1,000 energy bodies were reduced to less than 100. Rumble. When the last 10 or so energy bodies rushed over, Luo Feng's fists clashed. A black light ball exploded around him. With a shocking explosion, the energy bodies that were originally in different positions were instantly sucked together, simultaneously warping and destroyed. Looking at the empty surroundings, Luo Feng left the slaughter space and appeared before Chu Bei, bowing deeply. Not bad. Chu Bei looked at Luo Feng and nodded calmly. The registration has begun. Enter the virtual universe. Yes, master. Luo Feng nodded, replying, Virtual universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island. Starfield? Black Dragon Mountain Empire? Powerhouse? Sky Sword Sect? Name? Li Zhong. Alright, next. The virtual universe company members stationed on Black Dragon Mountain Island were all busy. Quickly look, that punk looks familiar. My god, what kind of brain do you have? You're too forgetful. He's that earthling protected by the country leader. So he's a star level 2. I just don't know how strong he is. I really want to spar with him. If he's strong enough, he may really be able to reach the stage where he can battle with me. The moment Luo Feng reached his registration spot, he immediately became the focal point of discussion. Starfield? Black Dragon Mountain Empire? Powerhouse? All Heaven Shop? Name? Luo Feng. Maybe it was because everyone was discussing Luo Feng. The virtual universe company member in charge of registration couldn't help but take another look at Luo Feng, almost as though he was trying to see if there was anything special about him. However, after studying him for a while, he still couldn't see anything special about him. After registering, Luo Feng exited the virtual universe and entered the slaughter space to continue his training. The genius battle was split into 2 parts. The first was the universe country selection, followed by the final pinnacle battle. Simply speaking, the first was the selection process within the universe countries, picking out the elites to participate in the final pinnacle battle of the entire human race. In the first part, the universe countries would pick out the top 1,000 warriors. In the second part, the top 1,000 warriors from every universe country would gather. The geniuses from all the universe countries would gather together for the final battle, deciding the top 1,000 of the human race. Little punks, the genius battle has been held many times. You should all know the rules. Compared to the previous years, the number of people registering this year has doubled, reaching 20 billion. I announce we will first begin the elimination round, after which there will only be 100,000 people left. At this time, a thick voice that caused the land and skies to tremble resounded throughout the space of the Ganwu universe. In the next moment, within the space, a giant whose face couldn't be seen clearly stood in space. The space around him warped slightly. His projection appeared in every corner of the universe country, including the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. The giant was surrounded by a resplendent light. Normal warriors couldn't even look at him directly. However, just hearing his voice was enough to make one's heart tremble. Beside him and behind him stood several powerful undyings, all of them looking respectful. Every undying had a similarly terrifying aura, and with a glance, there were at least 1,000 undyings around the giant. Chapter 569. Who is that person? How terrifying! Within the virtual universe, a sudden booming voice caused the space to tremble, causing one's soul to tremble. Some people's faces were filled with suspicion. Ganwu Universe Country Leader, the most powerful being, including the Black Dragon Mountain Empire and the countless subsidiary countries. All the warriors immediately knelt down respectfully and excitedly towards the giant. They didn't expect that this time they would actually be able to see the legendary being, the one who had established the Ganwu Universe Country, the one who had unimaginable abilities, the leader of the Ganwu Universe Country. My friend, you should know our Universe Country Leader, right? The Black Dragon Mountain Empire leader looked at Chu Bei, his face filled with respect towards the Ganwu Universe Country Leader. This is my first time here. Chu Bei shook his head, his expression calm. Little punks, regarding the elimination of the Ganwu Universe Country, the virtual universe will first be divided into 100 worlds. Every world will be given 200 million participants. These 200 million people will fight and kill each other in the same world, killing others to earn points, The more you kill, the more points you get. When the time is up, those who are ranked in the top 1,000 of their world will be considered to have passed the elimination. Every world will pick 1,000 people, 100 worlds, a total of 100,000 people. The Ganwu Universe country leader's booming voice once again resounded in everyone's ears at the same time. The person with the highest points in each world will not have to go through the elimination rounds, directly obtaining the top 100 spots of the top 1,000. As for the remaining 900 spots, they will be fought over by others in arena battles. Half an hour later. Black Dragon Mountain Empire Great Hall. Teacher, I've been assigned to the 7th sector, Luofeng said. It's about time, get ready. Chu Bei nodded. Rumble. Not long after Luofeng entered the virtual universe world, a terrifying loud rumble sounded, announcing the start of the human race's pinnacle genius battle. The various universe countries' elimination rounds had begun. As a grand occasion for the entire human race, from the Ganwu Universe country leader to the normal universe citizens who could enter the virtual universe network, everyone paid close attention. Of course, every universe country's warriors, citizens, all paid close attention to their own universe country's elimination round. Virtual Universe, Ganwu Universe Continent, 7th Sector. Luofeng surveyed his surroundings. This place was no different from the real world. The only difference was that there was a screen on his wrist, and on it was a blur of words. Participant, Luofeng Empire, Black Dragon Mountain Empire Points. 1 affiliation. All Heavens Shop World Area. 7th World Area Points Rule. Kill a contestant and get all their points. Every contestant starts with 1 point. Ranking, 189-566-602 Rumble. Suddenly, a loud sound came from not too far away from Luofeng. Looking in the direction of the sound, he saw 2 figures of light intertwining and fighting in midair. So soon? Luofeng muttered to himself. However, just as he finished speaking, a godly rainbow flew over from the west. This was a tall and sturdy man clad in origin armor, helmet, and combat boots. He was holding an axe in each hand. I can only say that your luck is really bad to have bumped into me. I hope your luck will be better next time. The tall and sturdy man smiled at Luofeng. As his words landed, his body rushed forward and the axe in his left hand drew an arc, tearing through the air and heading straight for Luofeng. You don't have the right to speak to me like that. Luofeng smiled coldly. His right hand clenched into a fist and a black glow appeared on his fist. Simply and swiftly, he met the attack. Pung! Just as Luofeng's fist made contact with the axe in the man's hand, the axe made a cracking sound and broke apart. How is this possible? Looking at the broken axe in his hand, the tall and sturdy man's mouth opened wide. His eyes were filled with disbelief and shock. However, before he could finish what he wanted to say, the fist wrapped in black light had already smashed into his head. In the next moment, with a chi sound, the tall and sturdy man was completely sucked into the black glow fist and vanished. At this time, the screen on Luofeng's arm vibrated and the information on the screen changed. Participant, Luofeng Empire, Black Dragon Mountain Empire Points, 2 affiliation. All Heavens Shop World Area. 7th World Area Ranking. 111111602. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Main Palace. Chu Bei and the Black Dragon Mountain country leader sat in the main palace, sipping tea while watching the events unfold in the 7th world. In the past few minutes, Luofeng had met another 3 people. However, the battles all ended in an instant. Also, the third person's points had reached 3. Just like that, Luofeng's points had reached 7. His ranking had also successfully entered the top 1,000, at number 947. I didn't expect that in just a few minutes, Luofeng would already be in the top 1,000. With this speed, he has hopes of getting into the top 100, or even the top 10. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader laughed heartily. He didn't even bother to look at the other geniuses of the Black Dragon Mountain country. His entire focus was on Luofeng. Chu Bei's expression didn't change at all. Almost as though to him, this result couldn't be any more normal. This pinnacle genius battle was merely a form of training for Luofeng. Ganwu Universe Country, Imperial Star. In a luxurious universe ship, there was a group of young men and women holding wine glasses and eating delicacies. Through the external simulation, they were watching the battle in the seventh world. Haha, did you all see that? The top 10 are all directly under our universe country's starfields. A 3M tall man dressed in a luxurious long robe held a wine glass and laughed loudly. Chunyu, your Pengyu Empire's results aren't bad too. There are actually 3 from your empire in the top 100. Thank you for your majesty's compliment. Even though we aren't directly under your starfield, we are still ranked in the top 10 of the subsidiary empires. A man with braids and a peculiar jade stone embedded in his forehead laughed. Quickly look, there's actually someone from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire in the top 100. At this time, a short-haired young lady exclaimed, her voice filled with disbelief. Damn, it's true. What's the background of that Luo Feng? The man dressed in the luxurious long robe also noticed Luo Feng's presence. Following which, he looked at the red-clothed man beside him. Lu Long, aren't you the young master of the Black Dragon Mountain country? Quick, tell us. Actually, I'm quite shocked too. I didn't expect him to be so powerful. As for my understanding of him, I know very little too. However, he has a master. Even my father is very courteous to him. The red-clothed man called Lu Long replied. No matter what, this Luo Feng has really made your Black Dragon Mountain Empire proud. That's right, your Black Dragon Mountain Empire's performance before wasn't even worth looking at. However, from what I see, that Luo Feng is about to leave. A group of young men and women teased the red-clothed man. As time passed, the weaker ones had already been eliminated. The remaining ones had at least 10 points in their hands. Gradually, the battles became more and more intense. Those who were ranked outside the top 1,000 were still rushing towards this goal. As for the top 100, they were all rushing towards the first place. After all, this first place meant that they would be able to skip the elimination rounds and enter the finals of all the universes. It was also a symbol of glory, fighting for one's own power and empire for that glory. Senior, your disciple's ability seems to be somewhat unfathomable. As he chatted with Chu Bei, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader felt that Chu Bei was more and more unfathomable. Gradually, the way he addressed him changed from friend to senior. There were less than 2 hours left before the elimination rounds ended. During this process, Luo Feng killed his way through. No matter how strong his opponent was, he would finish the battle within a minute. All of this originated from the terrifying ability released from within his body. No matter how strong his opponent's technique was, it only had one method. Swallow, swallow, swallow. As of now, Luo Feng's name had already successfully appeared in the top 10 of the 7th world. More accurately, after killing the previous person, he jumped to 9th place. Chapter 570. Quickly look, Draven's name has disappeared from the top of the list. My God, was he killed? No, he didn't die. He's only ranked 11th. He's been pushed out of the top 10. It's a punk called Luo Feng. My God. He actually came from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, a subsidiary empire. Crazy. Top 10. This has never happened before. Luo Feng's name had successfully broken the curse of the top 10 being all direct Starfield geniuses. Of course, it was also at this time that Luo Feng completely entered everyone's line of sight. Ganwu Universe Country, Imperial Star. Lu Long. This time your Black Dragon Mountain Empire has really made a name for itself because of this Luo Feng. On the ship, Peng Feather Empire's Chunyu said with some envy. However, that being said, this power called All Heaven Shop, isn't he the #1 power in your Black Dragon Mountain Empire? The short-haired lady pointed at the flying Luo Feng in the image, looking at Lu Long and asking, I won't hide it from you. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even know our empire had such a power. Towards the short-haired lady's question, Lu Long smiled. His expression was awkward. What? You've never heard of it before. Hearing Lu Long's words, the group of young men and women twitched their mouths. Ever since Chu Bei announced Earth's ownership in the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield projection, along with the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's words, the Empire immediately sent people to complete the connection between Earth and the vast universe. This included the virtual universe. Alliance Headquarters Building. Have you all seen it? That punk Luo Feng has already entered the top 10 of the 7th District world. He's indeed the leader's disciple. I believe that before long, even more people will know of Earth's name. After all, Luo Feng came from our world. When I reach the star level, I'll definitely join this genius battle, even if it's just a stepping stone. That's right, I don't care about the results. The most important thing is to participate. Hong, Thunder God, and the upper echelon of the Alliance were discussing intensely, their expressions excited. Suexian, why do you think the leader only has eyes for Luo Feng? Is my talent that much worse than Luo Feng's? Wei Wen looked at Suexian enviously. It's only been a few days, and he reached the star state. He's representing the all-heaven shop and conquering the universe. Yeah, the gap between us and him is getting bigger and bigger. Suexian muttered to herself. No one knew what she was thinking. Let's go. We'll go to the all-heaven store to buy some treasures and cultivate. Virtual Universe, Ganwu Universe Continent, 7th World. In the silent and bloody desolate desert, Luo Feng stood alone. At this moment, he suddenly sensed something. He raised his head and looked to the east. His eyes narrowed. A streak of green light flew over like a bolt of lightning. Then, it quickly decelerated and revealed its figure. It was a green-haired young man who was standing on a cyan wheel-like weapon. The edge of the weapon was as sharp as a blade. You are Luo Feng? The only non-subordinate starfield to make it into the top 10? The green-haired youth sized up Luo Feng, his eyes gleaming with a peculiar light, filled with excitement. Once I kill you and get your points, I'll be able to surpass that 100 ghost punk and become number 1. The green-haired youth continued to speak while licking his lips. His gaze became fierce and bloodthirsty. Those who had the same thoughts as you have already been eliminated. Luo Feng mocked as he looked at the green-haired man. His lips curled into a smile, his expression devoid of fear. Of course, he had the same thoughts as his opponent. After all, his opponent was currently ranked number 2. As long as he killed him and got the points, he would be able to sit firmly in the number 1 spot. At the same time, the cultivators from the outside world who had been paying attention to the events in the 7th world, when they saw Luo Feng and the green-haired man meet, they immediately went wild. Quickly look. Luo Feng and Ola are going up against each other. Haha, 1/9 and 1 second. This is going to be a good show. Who do you think will win between the two? Nonsense, it'll definitely be Ola. He was born with a dazzling aura. Even in our starfields, he's one of the top geniuses. But Luo Feng isn't simple either. These past few days, he's been killing everything in his path, like a madman. Hee, no matter who wins, 100 ghosts won't be able to keep their number 1 spot. It wasn't just the people who had been paying attention to the 7th world. Even those who had been paying attention to the other worlds all looked over when they heard the commotion. After all, in the past elimination competitions, it was almost impossible for the top 10 to fight each other, unless one of them had a 100% guarantee of killing the opponent. Ganwu Universe Country, on a ship. Lu Long, your Black Dragon Mountain Empire sure is unfortunate. It wasn't easy for Luo Feng to make it into the top 10, only to meet Ola. You're destined to stop here. What a pity. The youth sitting in the main seat shook his head and sighed. Your Majesty, maybe this is the fate of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Haha. A group of youths were laughing at their misfortune. He can only blame himself for being unlucky. Lu Long let out a long breath, his expression dejected. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Main Palace. Senior, I've heard of this Ola before. He's one of the top geniuses of the Ola family in the Starfield. Not long ago, I even heard that he jumped levels and killed a universe level. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader looked at the scene in the projection. His expression was ugly, his gaze filled with helplessness. Relax, this disciple of mine has walked much further than you think. Chu Bei's lips curled into a smile. He had taught Luo Feng quite a few techniques regarding the swallowing fruit. Only thing was, up till now, of all the opponents Luo Feng had met, none had been able to force him to use his techniques. Along the way, he had only used the simplest straight punch that carried the devouring power. Even though Chu Bei appeared calm and confident in Luo Feng, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader beside him, his expression of worry didn't lessen at all. This all stemmed from the fact that this green-haired youth called Ola was too dazzling. Virtual universe, 7th world. Shio. In the desolate desert, there were many silhouettes passing by from time to time. Maybe it was because Ola was too famous, or maybe it was because the black horse Luofeng had become the focal point. Whatever the case, when these silhouettes recognized the two, they all stopped flying and floated in the distance to watch. As time passed, with Luofeng and Ola as the center, the area around them was quickly filled with people watching the show. Among them, there was no lack of the top 100. Interesting. It'd be great if both of them were heavily injured. Haha, my thoughts are the same as yours. The spectators all laughed. Hearing the voices around, the green-haired youth called Ola's cold gaze swept past the distant spectators. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Before we make a move, let's first get rid of this bunch of noisy people. I don't want them to take advantage of the situation after the battle. The moment Cold in the Forest's words landed, Ola's entire being seemed to have transformed into a blade filled with killing intent. Do you think that after the battle, I'll be very weak? Luofeng's words were filled with laughter. However, just as he finished, he suddenly changed his tone. However, these spectators are all points. I can indeed kill them first. After I kill them, you'll personally feel my terror. Ola snorted coldly and turned to look at the surrounding spectators. Luofeng and Ola's voices resounded throughout the area. The distant spectators were all shocked. However, before they could even react, Luofeng and Ola's silhouettes had already reached them. Their speed was extremely fast. Pung. After the first two were killed by Luofeng and Aola respectively, the group of spectators recovered from their shock. Flee, quickly flee. That Ola and Luofeng, they're going to kill us first. They're already here. After reacting, many of the silhouettes madly fled in all directions, their expressions filled with panic. Not even a minute after Luofeng and Ola began their slaughter, only the two of them were left in the desolate area. It's finally quiet. Olga looked around and returned his gaze to Luofeng. Just as he finished speaking, a dazzling golden light shot out from his body, and a large amount of golden light formed a golden airflow that rushed towards Luofeng. Facing Ola's attack, Luofeng didn't dodge. Just like before, he clenched his right hand into a fist covered in a layer of black light. Chila. With a shrill sound, the golden airflow was swallowed by the black light and disappeared. Is this all you've got? How strange. Ola stared at Chu Bei's right fist as if he was sensing the energy of the black light. He frowned. Luofeng didn't care about what Ola said. He clenched his left hand into a fist and rushed forward, waving both fists. Rumble. However, just as his fists were about to hit Ola, there was a low explosion, and Ola left an afterimage on the spot. This time, Luofeng's fists missed. No wonder you were able to enter the top 10. You're indeed quite strong. Ola spoke again. He had already appeared 10 away, his brows furrowed with caution. Just now, he felt the terrifying energy contained within Luofeng's fists at close range. It was a terrifying suction force. If he hadn't dodged in time, his intuition told him that even someone as strong as him would have left this world and been eliminated. Luofeng frowned in the distance, his expression becoming serious. He had to say, this Ola was much stronger than the other level 9s he had met before. Even though they were of the same level, their strength was like heaven and earth. Just the terrifying speed he had displayed before was enough to make him take him seriously. The strength within your fists is terrifying, but your speed isn't fast. As long as I avoid your fists, I'll be fine. Ola spoke his analysis, after which he moved again, heading towards Luofeng. Chapter 571. Again. In the battlefield, Luofeng roared and waved his fists. Rumble. Amidst the explosions, Aola nimbly dodged Luofeng's fists, simultaneously sending out lethal attacks at Luofeng. However, Luofeng was always able to meet the attacks with his fists, forcing Aola to retract his attacks. In the end, there was a series of explosions in the air, but the two of them didn't even touch at all. Just like that, the battle continued for about half an hour, before Aola retreated and pulled away from Luofeng. You are very strong. Aola praised Luofeng. Actually, he was praising Luofeng's fist for the mysterious swallowing energy. Even though his speed was above his opponent's, the difference wasn't huge. This allowed him to often launch lethal attacks, but his opponent would quickly block them with his fists. And in terms of strength, his opponent's fists made him wary, hence he had no choice but to dodge. This repeated process made him very depressed and helpless. My newest spirit weapon was originally meant to be used against the 100 ghosts. I didn't expect to have to use it early. After a while, Aola's gaze focused, as he spoke coldly. With a flip of his hands, a full moon appeared in each of his palms. The two seemed to affect each other as they spun madly. Dang dang. With a crisp sound of collision, Olga threw the two full moon discs into the air, and their speed soared rapidly. Shio, shio. With a space-breaking sound, the two full moons tore through space, instantly appearing before Luofeng. Not bad. Luofeng frowned. He could feel that the two full moons were infused with the great path of the origin. Almost like two stars revolving around each other in the universe, they were filled with mysteries. Chila. Luofeng didn't hesitate, immediately clenching his fists and rushing at the first full moon. However, as the energy ripples from the full moon were too terrifying, and its speed was incomparably fast, it actually broke free from the swallowing energy from Luofeng's fists. Luckily, Luofeng sensed the danger immediately and avoided it by a hair's breadth. However, after successfully dodging the first full moon disk, the second full moon disk followed closely from a different direction. Luofeng didn't dare hesitate, immediately stepping into space and retreating. If he was hit, he would have lost due to his carelessness. Let's see how long you can last. Not far away, Aola controlled the two full moons, continuously attacking Luofeng. Just from his expression, using the two full moon was obviously a huge drain on him. Quickly look, Luofeng is being suppressed. The situation is clear. Looking, that Luofeng can't last much longer. As I thought, the final victory will still belong to Aola. As long as he kills Luofeng, he will be first. That's right, what weapon is that weapon? In the outside world, those who had been paying attention to the situation on the battlefield voiced their opinions one after another. Ganwu Universe Country, within a Lux ship. Your Highness, what's that pair of full moons? The short-haired girl looked at the young man in luxurious robes with confusion in her eyes. If my guess is correct, that should be the Nanshan armament. The young man said, What? This Aola can actually control the Nanshan armament. Indeed, from the start, this battle was already set in stone. Before this, I actually had the illusion that Luofeng could win. Hearing the words Nanshan armament, the group of youths within the ship all exclaimed, their faces filled with shock. The Nanshan armament was infused with the gold and space origin laws. It was one of the 9 godly weapons of a spirit reader. To a star level, to be able to use the Nanshan armament was simply inconceivable. The Nanshan armament was split into 9 different forms. Just the first form required one to have sufficient comprehension of the gold origin laws and a strong consciousness to be able to control it successfully. Even a genius like Aola had to study it for many years, and only 10 days before the elimination competition could he be considered to have grasped it. At this level, even if he only grasped the first form, he could be said to be invincible. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Main Palace. Senior, I really didn't expect this punk Aola to be able to control the Nanshan armament at the star level. Do you think Luofeng can reverse the situation? The Black Dragon Mountain country leader looked at Chu Bei, probing as he asked. That punk does have some ability. It's a pity he picked the wrong opponent. Chu Bei smiled indifferently, as though he wasn't worried about Luofeng being eliminated. Luofeng, it's time to end this. In the 7th world's battlefield, Aola suddenly let out a loud roar, after which his hands interweaved fiercely, as though he was using all his strength. In the next moment, the 2 full moons overlapped and transformed into a dreamy longsword that was shrouded in a faint golden light. Rumble. The 2 full moons overlapped and formed a dreamy golden blade. A powerful energy shot out from the tip of the blade, immediately tearing through space, ripples spreading outwards. Shio. In an instant, The golden blade shot towards Luo Feng. As it was too fast, it became a resplendent golden rainbow. As it was too glaring, the spectators couldn't even clearly see what was happening. Indeed, the Nanshan armament, just the first level, is already so terrifying. No, that should already be close to the second level. If that's the case, under this blade, Luo Feng will definitely die. Just as everyone was certain that Luo Feng would die under the golden blade, large amounts of black light dots began to appear around his body. At the same time, Luo Feng's palms formed a circle, swallow, Yada mirror. Following Luo Feng's cold shout, the black dots of light around his body instantly rushed into the area where his two hands formed a circle. In an instant, the circle formed by his palms formed a black light film, almost like a mirror formed by the accumulation of photons. Chi. With a buzzing sound, a terrifying black light shot out from the mirror, forming a path of light that welcomed the golden blade. Kacha! The two clashed, bringing about a shocking explosion. After a short stalemate, the resplendent golden blade began to have small cracks. Quickly look. How can this be? Ola's Nanshan armament actually has cracks. Not only that, it's even warped. Just what kind of energy is that black light? Those who had been paying attention to the battle immediately had a change in expression, their eyes filled with shock. However, before the crowd could even settle down, an even more shocking scene occurred. That black light seemed to be infused with even more energy. Its terrifying swallowing force actually caused the space around it to warp. With a buzzing sound, the originally slightly warped golden blade, with a whoosh, completely entered the black light and disappeared. After the black light swallowed the golden blade, it didn't dissipate. Instead, it instantly extended towards Ola's body. Maybe it was because the Nanshan armament used too much of his spirit energy. The current Ola looked extremely weak. However, against the terrifying black light, he still used all his strength to unleash his fastest movement. However, what was unbelievable was that the black light seemed to have grown a pair of eyes. It actually followed Ola, and its speed became even faster. Chapter 572. Pung. The black beam hit Ola's body, bringing about a huge explosion, following which Ola let out a cry. His entire body warped and vanished within the black beam. Damn it! I can't accept this. Within the Aola family of the Ganwu universe country, Aola woke up from reality. He fiercely punched the space and let out a roar. His face was filled with unwillingness and regret. On the other side, the information on the AI devices of the virtual universe's seventh world had changed. Ola, who was originally second in points, had disappeared from the top 10. The originally first 100 ghosts had become second. As for the first name, it had become Luo Feng. What's going on? How did first suddenly become Luo Feng? Where did he get so many points all of a sudden? Ola's name has even disappeared. My God, Ola couldn't have been killed by Luo Feng, right? Luo Feng was originally ninth. Thinking about his points before and now, isn't this difference the same as Ola's points before? This is crazy. This Luo Feng from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's All-Heaven Shop is already so terrifying. Within the seventh world, the contestants who didn't know about the battle between Luo Feng and Ola, after discovering this shocking change, were all shocked and speechless. Ganwu Universe Country, within a luxurious ship. It's actually such a result. A braided man with a peculiar jade embedded in his forehead was stunned as he looked at the projection, his expression stiff. This Luo Feng actually defeated Ola, who can control the Nanshan armament. That's unbelievable. The short-haired lady was so shocked she couldn't help but put down the wine glass in her hand. Did you all notice that energy he used? I've never come into contact with it before. A long-haired youth spoke, his voice filled with shock. Lulong, did he learn your Black Dragon Mountain Empire's techniques? I'm very interested in that energy. I wonder if you have any way of getting it from your father? There are many benefits. As the crown prince of the universe country, the luxurious robed man looked at Lulong beside him and said, Your Majesty, I can tell you with certainty that the powerful ability he used was definitely not our Black Dragon Mountain Empire's techniques. If it is as you think, our Black Dragon Mountain Empire would not be ranked outside the top 10,000 in the past. Lu Long cupped his fist respectfully at the man in luxurious robes. In my opinion, this should be related to the all-heaven shop he belongs to. The man in the luxurious robe looked at Lu Long and nodded with his eyes half closed. Go back and learn more about this all-heaven shop, then tell me the relevant information. If you can really help me get the cultivation technique he practices, you will be rewarded handsomely. Don't worry, Your Highness. I will do my best. Lu Long smiled. He was smiling because Luo Feng had defeated Aola, not because he was greedy for the reward the man in the luxurious robe spoke of. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, within the main palace. Elder, is Luo Feng's final move the Yada Mirror? Truly amazing. The Black Dragon Mountain Country King did not even try to hide his excitement as he laughed heartily. Over countless tens of thousands of years, his Black Dragon Mountain Empire finally had a genius enter the top 100 of a world within the Ganwu Universe country, and it was a genius who suppressed all the other geniuses within the starfields and was able to directly participate in the true human universe great competition. Looking at Luo Feng in the projection, Chu Bei nodded satisfyingly. Swallowing the Yada Mirror was something he had taught Luo Feng. The theory behind it was to compress the swallowing energy to form a light beam and unleash an extremely powerful attack. As for the results of the battle before, Chu Bei was still very satisfied. On the other side, within the seventh world, this AOLA's points sure are impressive. Luo Feng lowered his head to look at the screen on his wrist. The points displayed there made him happy. Participant, Luo Feng Empire, Black Dragon Mountain Empire points, 20007521 Powerhouse. All Heavens Shop World Area. World Area 7 points rules. Killing a competitor earns all their points. Every participant starts with 1 point. Points ranking. 1 Luo Feng's current points were already 4 million higher than the original number 1. 100 Ghosts. Wang Wang. 15 minutes later. With a rumble, the seventh world violently shook, after which it swiftly stopped. Everyone's points were completely fixed. At this time, all the universe countries' elimination rounds had ended. Little rascals, the elimination rounds are now over. Those who have successfully entered the next round, I hereby congratulate you. After a while, a thick voice that shook the land and skies resounded throughout the Ganwu universe's space. After which, a giant whose face couldn't be seen clearly appeared in space. It was the Qian Kuan universe country leader. With that, all the subsidiary countries and direct starfields immediately knelt down towards the giant, their faces filled with respect. Right now, I announce the number 1 winners of the various worlds. They will be exempted from the rest of the competition and will immediately enter the human universe country pinnacle competition. The Ganwu universe country leader's projection appeared in every corner of the universe country, his body emitting a resplendent light. His thick voice caused the space around to tremble, causing one's soul to tremble. First world, number 1 Ala Suwa, Ganwu Universe Country's direct starfield, Ala Family. Second world, number 1 Bei Ta, Ganwu Universe Country's direct starfield, Divine Weapon Hall. Third world, number 1 Lucar, Ganwu Universe Country's direct starfield, Imperial Family. Fourth world, number 1 Lu Binfeng, Ganwu Universe Country's direct starfield, Imperial Family. One after another, familiar names and powers were revealed from the Ganwu Universe Country leader's mouth, floating about the universe country. Behind him, several powerful undyings stood respectfully. Every one of them similarly had a godly aura that made one's heart palpitate. With a glance, there were at least 1,000 of them. Seventh world, number 1 Luo Feng, Black Dragon Mountain Empire, All Heaven Shop. Within the space, the Ganwu Universe Country leader's voice continued to resound. Black Dragon Mountain Empire? How is that possible? It's just a subsidiary empire. How can it take the number 1 position of a world? All Heaven Shop? How come I've never heard of this power before? And this Luo Feng, I've never heard of him before. I didn't expect the Black Dragon Mountain Country leader to actually have such a trump card. He's really shocking the world. Looks like I'll have to go back and learn more about the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, especially this power called All Heaven Shop. Very quickly, the warriors of the Ganwu universe fell into an intense discussion. It was only those who had been paying attention to the seventh world from the beginning. Their expressions didn't change much. When Luo Feng had successfully killed Aola, the result had already been decided. At the same time, within the main palace of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, the Black Dragon Mountain country leaders' carefree laughter resounded. Senior, this time my Black Dragon Mountain has really relied on you and your teacher's good fortune. If it weren't for you, the name Black Dragon Mountain Empire wouldn't have appeared in the mouth of the Ganwu Universe country leader. I'm afraid it would still be forgotten by everyone. After laughing from the bottom of his heart, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader cupped his fist towards Chu Bei, his eyes filled with respect. The true competition hasn't even begun. Chu Bei nodded his head towards the Black Dragon Mountain country king, his mouth carrying a smile. After the elimination competition ended, Luo Feng continued to enter the slaughter space to continue his battle training, and those who didn't get the number 1 position in the world would compete for the remaining 900 slots of the 1,000 slots. 2 days later, the Ganwu Universe country's second elimination round had ended, and the remaining 900 slots were selected. Little punks, the 1,000 of you are the most exceptional of our Ganwu Universe country selections. You all have the right to represent our Ganwu Universe country and compete against the geniuses of the other universe countries. What you all need to know is, this universe pinnacle battle is far more intense than your previous battles. The human race, 1,008 universe countries, of which there are some universe countries that are even more vast than our Ganwu Universe country, with many more galaxies. The universe pinnacle battle of humanity's geniuses will be held tomorrow. While there's still some time, rest and recuperate, strive to unleash your greatest strength on the battlefield. Even if you lose, you have to lose beautifully. The Ganwu Universe country leader's powerful and majestic voice resounded throughout the vast starfield, clearly reaching everyone's ears. Understood. Including Luo Feng, the 1,000-star level warriors all gave a resounding reply. Another day passed. Primal Chaos City. This was a city located within the Primal Universe. In the past, every universe pinnacle battle of humanity's geniuses, the various universe countries would all have a certain number of slots to spectate from Primal Chaos City. The slots from the Ganwu Universe country were split between the world's number 1 empire, and each empire could only have 3 slots. Senior, this is my first time coming to Primal Chaos City. Looking at the laws visible to the naked eye, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's expression was extremely excited, without any of the composure a country leader should have. Lord, you should know, the universe we live in is the most vast. Oh. The races are incomparably diverse. This vast universe is known as the Primal Universe. As it is an extremely complete universe, it is extremely difficult to comprehend the origin laws. And this Primal Universe is different. It is in the early stages of the universe's evolution. The origin laws are visible and can be easily comprehended. Of course, to enter the Primal Universe, that is also extremely difficult. One has to make a huge contribution. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader floated beside Chu Bei, explaining the differences between the Primal Universe their universe country was in and the Primal Chaos City's Primal Universe. Chu Bei looked indifferently at the chaotic air currents that occasionally floated about in the surrounding void, then looked at the Black Dragon Mountain King who was excitedly talking nonstop beside him, before nodding his head slightly. Looking out, one could see the skies in the distance occasionally splitting apart, and one could even see large amounts of mysterious engravings flowing around the edges of the space cracks, threads connecting, the engravings on the threads floating, almost like a loom, causing the skies to grow bigger and bigger. Obviously, the universe space cracks were constantly being repaired by the universe origin laws, within which there were all sorts of origin laws. I am Primal Chaos City's Envoy 166. May I know who the two of you are? At this time, a low voice resounded. After which, a black-robed man with green scales all over his head landed before Chu Bei and the Black Dragon Mountain country leader, his face filled with a professional smile. I am the Black Dragon Mountain country leader. I have been invited to the Primal Chaos Plaza to watch the Genius Pinnacle battle. Sensing the energy ripples from the envoy before him, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader couldn't help but take in a deep breath. The other party was actually an official level undying no weaker than him. And because of that, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader didn't refer to himself as the Emperor, instead referring to himself as I. This primal chaos city was far more terrifying than he had imagined. The two of you, please follow me. The emissary gestured towards the Black Dragon Mountain country king and took the lead to walk in front. During this process, the envoy sized up Chu Bei, his eyes flashing with an undetectable peculiarity. With his official level, he was actually unable to sense this person's energy ripples. It was strange. Chapter 573. This city is called Primal Chaos City. It has existed for much longer than most of the universe countries you're from. Anyone who has come here to study would more or less have some sort of comprehension, and many absolute beings have been born here. The envoy led the way while explaining to Chu Bei and the Black Dragon Mountain country leader about Primal Chaos City. Senior, have you noticed those people? They're not simple. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader pointed around and said to Chu Bei. Looking around Primal Chaos City, there were many little buildings, and many of them had many silhouettes sitting crossed-legged on their rooftops. Some seemed to be carving something on the rooftops, while others were muttering something. However, they all gave off a powerful and terrifying aura, and this aura was above that of an official level undying. Another two have arrived. If I didn't hear wrongly, they are from the Ganwu Universe country's Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Black Dragon Mountain Empire? Poland, isn't that your hometown? Right? I didn't expect that after tens of thousands of years, someone from my hometown has finally appeared in Primal Chaos City. Have you noticed that punk in the purple robe? What level is he at? Weird. I actually can't see through him. Maybe he has some sort of secret treasure on him that conceals his aura. At this time, in the sky, close to the tear in space, many silhouettes stood in midair, looking down at Chu Bei and the Black Dragon Mountain country leader, chatting casually. This should be your first time in Primal Chaos City, right? There are many important people here that you've never met before. The envoy turned around and looked at the Black Dragon Mountain country leader. You must not disturb their study of the origin laws. The moment you disturb them, even though the city has a ban on death, you will still be heavily injured. Thank you for the reminder. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader looked gratefully at the envoy. He could feel the hidden super terrifying aura. The so-called Primal Chaos Plaza wasn't built on the ground of Primal Chaos City, but floating in the sky. It was almost like a small world of its own. Even though it was above Primal Chaos City, it seemed to be separated by tens of thousands of star fields. Looking up, there were countless stars floating around Primal Chaos City. Dense laws swirled around, and all sorts of strange phenomena appeared. The huge Chaos Square was split into 1008 regions, corresponding to the 1008 universe countries of humanity. There were several exquisite and luxurious seats neatly arranged in each area. At this moment, 80% of these seats were already occupied, and their auras were all extremely powerful. The two of you, that's the Ganwu region. You can go there on your own. The receiving envoy stopped in his tracks, extending a finger towards a direction to the east. Thank you. The Black Dragon Mountain King thanked the messenger once again, then led Chu Bei and flew towards the Ganwu region. Hey, isn't this Lu Mubai? I didn't think that you would have the chance to appear here. Just as the Black Dragon Mountain King had flown to the Ganwu region, a man who also wore a golden crown on his head let out a mocking voice. Can't I appear? What's so surprising about that? The Black Dragon Mountain King waved his hand towards the man with the golden crown, pretending to be calm and composed. With that, the king of the Black Dragon Mountain looked towards a tall man in a golden robe who was seated at the head of the Ganwu region. He cupped his fist respectfully and said, Lu Mubai of the Black Dragon Mountain greets the king of the Ganwu region. Well done. That Luofeng, I've paid attention to him too. For you all to be able to nurture such a punk, you've really put in a lot of effort. I'm looking forward to his performance. The Ganwu country king looked at Lu Mubai, his gaze filled with praise. As for this Luofeng, he actually has nothing to do with me. Hearing the Ganwu country king's words, Lu Mubai laughed awkwardly. He was nurtured by Senior, and coincidentally, Senior is also the leader of a planet in my star field. Senior? Hearing how Lu Mubai addressed Chu Bei, not only the Ganwu country king, the other 200 people in the area all turned their gazes towards Chu Bei at the same time. After sizing him up, all of them frowned, looking at each other, their eyes filled with confusion. My friend, you should have some kind of treasure on you, right? At this time, an empire king couldn't help but take the initiative to ask. Chu Bei smiled knowingly, ignoring that country king, instead finding a seat nearby and sitting down. Despicable! Are you not putting this prince in your eyes? Sensing that he was being ignored, the empire king who asked the question immediately had a gloomy look on his face. At the same time, a violent aura was about to explode. In terms of ability, he was above the Black Dragon Mountain King, being an emperor-level undying, not far from becoming a universe knight. Li Feng, don't be rude. The Ganwu country king suddenly let out a shout, saying, since this friend is already from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, then he is also a citizen of the Ganwu universe. In the upcoming battle of the Pinnacle Geniuses, the other universe countries are our opponents. I got it. The country king called Li Feng took a look at Chu Bei, snorted coldly, and didn't say another word. Senior, the origin laws here are easy to comprehend. Since we have enough time, maybe we will gain something. The Black Dragon Mountain King sat beside Chu Bei, after which he focused his attention on the carvings on the stone pillar beside him. Very quickly, the Black Dragon Mountain King was engrossed in it. This actually contains the space origin laws. After about 15 minutes, the Black Dragon Mountain King seemed to have comprehended something, suddenly letting out a surprised cheer. The Ganwu Universe Country King took a look at the Black Dragon Mountain King, letting out a voice that entered everyone's mind, causing their souls to tremble. Primal Chaos Plaza. There were many generations of powerful beings who sat here to comprehend. These absolute warriors, in the process of comprehending, would occasionally carve, hence they left behind many carvings that contained the thoughts of these strong warriors. According to the rules, even after the Battle of the Pinnacle Geniuses ends, you can still stay for another week. If you are interested in these carvings, you can study them thoroughly before leaving. Indeed, the primal chaos city of the primal universe, the sacred place that all the strong warriors yearn for. Hearing the Ganwu Universe Country King's words, the Black Dragon Mountain King's eyes gleamed, after which he once again immersed himself in his comprehension. During this process, the Ganwu Universe Country King also took notice of Chu Bei, and was shocked to discover that he didn't seem to care at all. His expression was as though he didn't care about the comprehension left behind by these knights, or even more terrifying beings. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Just as the Black Dragon Mountain King and the others were immersed in their comprehension, the southwest region of the plaza suddenly shook violently, the sound causing the land and skies to tremble. Chapter 574. Seer Way. A furious roar filled with hatred resounded throughout the skies of Primal Chaos City. At the same time, a terrifying lightning energy instantly pierced through tens of millions of li. Not just the people in the plaza, even the warriors on the balconies of the various training residences all opened their eyes and looked towards the source of the sound. This energy ripple, the group of country leaders in the Ganwu region were all shocked. The group of them all looked towards the southwest region in shock. As for the undyings that were closer, they were immediately suppressed by this powerful energy until their faces went pale. Chu Bei looked over too. Only that he wasn't as shocked as the others, he was extremely calm. In the southwest region, there was an incredibly tall and sturdy huge man dressed in gold armor, almost like a god of heaven and earth, wielding a huge axe the size of himself, waving it towards an absolute being whose entire body had transformed into lightning. From the energy, the lightning energy from before was emitted when the latter dodged the huge axe. That is, Mysterious Star Universe Country Leader and Thunder Soaring Universe Country Leader. My God, why are the two Universe Country Leaders fighting? Looking at them, it's a life and death battle. On the plaza, the group of invited warriors recognized the two absolute beings fighting in the distance. They couldn't help but take in a cold breath, their expressions shocked. The two of them have always been at odds. The universe countries they govern often have conflicts. They have sparred many times in the primal universe, just that they can't do anything to each other. At this time, the Ganwu universe country leader glanced at the group behind him and said indifferently. It wasn't just him. The other universe country leaders seemed to know about the feud between the two, hence they weren't too shocked. Are these two guys crazy? Don't they know the rules of Primal Chaos City, daring to fight to the death? So what if they're universe country leaders? Do they really think Primal Chaos City is their territory? They probably think they're invincible just because they've entered the night realm. Even if it's a night, fighting in Primal Chaos City, it won't end well. The universe warriors that stayed in Primal Chaos City all year round, watching the intense battle between the two universe country leaders, they all spoke out. I won't rest until I die. The towering Xian Star Universe country leader's eyes were bloodshot as he waved his astonishing huge axe over and over again. Kill. Thunder Soaring Universe country leader roared and waved the lightning spear in his hands to attack Xian Xing Universe country leader. Amidst the rumbling explosion, the void where the two of them were was shattered, and chaotic air currents surged. Is this a battle between universe knights? In the Ganwu region, a group of undying empires all had pale faces. Looking at the battle between venerables, they were like a group of ants, while the two people fighting in the distance were like two ancient gods. He's too strong. The venerable one is far more terrifying than I imagined. The Black Dragon Mountain King held his breath as he looked at the shattered space and the surging origin source laws in the distance, his eyes wide open. Then, he subconsciously looked at Chu Bei. The person beside him was also a venerable one. They had all seen venerables before. For example, the Ganwu country master was a venerable, but he had always kept his aura hidden. In the battle before them, this was the first time they had seen a venerable one truly enraged. This battle, with just a raise of his hand, he tore apart all sorts of origin source laws, shattering pieces of universe space. It's about to end. Suddenly, Chu Bei spat out a light voice from his mouth. Senior, what do you mean? Rumble. Just as the Black Dragon Mountain King opened his mouth to ask Chu Bei, the entire primal universe resounded with a furious snort. In the next moment, the entire Primal Chaos City went dark, following which, all the warriors were shocked to discover that the space cracks in the sky that were occasionally shattering and mending. The revolving universe laws had all suddenly stopped. Even the chaos airflow had stopped floating. Within the Southwest region battlefield, the two universe country leaders who were fighting had all stopped. Another thunderous boom rang out. Above the heads of the two universe country leaders, a huge palm formed completely from the chaos airflow appeared. After which, this chaos airflow palm fiercely slapped down, as though the sky was pressing down. Pong, pong. After which, under the gazes of countless great beings, the two night-level universe country leaders were reduced to dust, as though they were tofu. Gulp. At this moment, Primal Chaos City was silent. One could hear the sound of everyone swallowing their saliva. It must be the city lord. As expected. So what if he's a venerable? Those who dare to fight in Primal Chaos City will also be suppressed. As time passed, a voice broke the silence. Chi. Chi. Not long after, the minced meat on the battlefield regrouped and condensed into two human figures. They were the master of Xin Xing Cosmic Country and the master of Lei Lin Cosmic Country. At this moment, their faces were pale and their auras were extremely weak. Looking at the giant palm above their heads, their eyes were filled with fear. City Lord, please spare my life. Seeing that the giant palm was about to fall again, the two monarchs looked at each other and quickly begged for mercy. They had heard of the Primal Chaos City leader's strength, but they had thought that he was not much stronger than them. That was why they dared to ignore the rules of the city. However, just now, they had personally experienced the terror of the Primal Chaos City leader. He was not even on the same level as them. It was too terrifying. First Law Enforcement Team, take Sven and Lei Bo out of the Primal Universe and send them to the Starfield prison. The giant palm did not fall. Instead, a low voice resounded, with a metallic texture. resounding throughout the primal universe. Yes. As they shouted in unison, 5 bloody lights appeared beside the 2 universe country leaders. Facing the law enforcement team, the 2 universe country leaders who were already heavily injured had no resistance. Their eyes were filled with regret. Just how strong is the primal chaos city leader? That's 2 universe country leaders, both of them at the night level. Before the city leader, they actually had no resistance at all. Looking at the 2 silhouettes obediently following the law enforcement team and disappearing into the sky, the other universe country leaders on the plaza all looked at each other. At this moment, they clearly understood how terrifying the primal chaos city leader was. He didn't even reveal his true body. Just a palm with the chaotic airflow across the void space was enough to cause the 2 universe knights to explode and lose their ability to fight. Chu Bei, on the other hand, had a rough idea of the primal chaos city leader's power from that palm. If these universe knights were equivalent to a complete supreme being, then the primal chaos city leader's level was equivalent to a true immortal in the perfect world's training system. And from the aura before, the primal chaos city leader should be at the pinnacle of true immortal. Don't use your ignorance to challenge the rules of primal chaos city. Looking at the entire primal universe and primal universe, the city leader is the pinnacle being. So what if they are universe country leaders? They are nothing in the eyes of the city leader. Killing is killing. At this time, the powerful voice of the law enforcement team captain, who had already left, floated above the plaza, lingering around the ears of the other universe country leaders and the group of great beings. Country leader, has the primal chaos city leader surpassed the night level? In the Ganwu region, including the Black Dragon Mountain country leader, a group of official and emperor-level undyings looked towards the Ganwu universe country leader, their faces filled with confusion. Our level is known as a universe knight. Those who have surpassed this level are known as universe masters. The Ganwu universe country leader said calmly. Could it be that this primal chaos city leader has already entered the ranks of universe masters? An empire country leader asked. The Ganwu universe country leader nodded. Hence, after personally witnessing the tragic state of those 2 punks, you all had better behave yourselves in primal chaos city. After that, the Ganwu universe country leader slowly closed his eyes, quietly waiting for the pinnacle battle of the entire human race to begin. Virtual universe. Little punks, the pinnacle battle of the geniuses of the entire universe is about to begin. You all will be transported to the Glory Continent. After half an hour, a powerful and loud voice resounded in every corner of the virtual universe. As the voice landed, the 1,000 geniuses of the Ganwu continent, including Luofeng, all lit up with resplendent light, after which they were transported to a brand new world opened up in the virtual universe. This was a vast continent. Looking from afar, the continent had 1,008 skyscrapers, naturally forming a ring. Every skyscraper corresponded to a universe country. And the place where Luofeng and the others were transported to was an incredibly huge plaza formed by the ring region. Accurately speaking, it wasn't just the 1,000 geniuses of the Ganwu universe country. All 1,008 geniuses of the universe countries were transported to this plaza. In just a moment, the originally empty plaza was filled with people. A total of 1 million star-level geniuses from the entire universe had gathered. It has begun. Almost at the same time, the many country leaders and warriors in the primal universe plaza opened their eyes, gazing towards the huge projection in the center of the plaza. Little punks, I represent the Virtual Universe Company to welcome your arrival. Virtual Universe, Glory Continent. A warm voice suddenly resounded in the plaza, clearly reaching everyone's ears. Hearing the voice, all the participants immediately looked up in shock. In the empty sky, a man wearing a green battle robe with purple scales on his head appeared out of thin air. He had a smile on his face, almost like an ancient god. The natural aura he emitted made the over 1 million youths involuntarily submit. Also, even though they could see the green-robed man with their naked eyes, they had a vague feeling that the man who spoke seemed to be in a different space from them. That feeling of time and space being messed up made them feel very uncomfortable. 1,008 universe countries. Every universe country will pick 1,000 geniuses. There's a total of over 1 million geniuses here. The green-robed man floated in midair, gazing down at the over 1,000,000 geniuses, his voice warm. Our virtual universe company will pick the strongest 1,000 of you and absorb them into the core of our virtual universe company. The top 100 will be able to enter the primal world to study the origin laws for a year. The top 10 will be able to study for 3 years. The first place will be nurtured as the next controller of the virtual universe company. What? The top 1,000 will become the core of the virtual universe company. The top 100 will be able to enter the primal world to train. And it's for a year. The first place will become the successor of the virtual universe company. Hearing the green-robed man's words, the over 1,000,000 geniuses immediately exclaimed, looking at each other, their faces filled with excitement. Chapter 575. Virtual Universe Company. That's a huge leviathan of the entire vast universe. Its position far surpasses even the universe countries. Not just the 1,000,000 participating geniuses, even the universe country leaders on the plaza all revealed shocked expressions when they heard the man's words. Obviously, they didn't know before that the first place reward would be the next leader of the virtual universe company. This news came too suddenly, catching them off guard. At their level, they were all very clear on what this meant. If this first place really landed in their universe country, that would mean the virtual universe company was leaning towards their universe country. Little punks, listen well. The first round selection rules. Our virtual universe company has prepared over 1,000,000 training spaces for you, one for each person. Within the training space, there's a tower with 7 levels. You'll start from the first level, after which you'll proceed to the second level, all the way until you're killed by the life forms within the tower and kicked out of the virtual universe. During this process, your points will be calculated based on your results within the training spaces. The top 1,000 will advance, the rest will be eliminated. Of course, these 1,000 will be accepted as core members of the virtual universe company regardless of their results in the following competitions. As for the top 10, you'll be able to enter the final 16 finals. The remaining 6 spots will be determined in the next round of the tag team battles. The first 2 rounds will be conducted within the virtual universe. As for the final 16 finals, to allow you to unleash your full potential, the battlefield will be changed to Primal Chaos City within the Primal Universe. Of course, you don't have to worry, Primal Chaos City has enough warriors to ensure your safety. After hearing the man's words, the 1,000,000 geniuses from the 1,008 universe countries were all stunned. They didn't expect that just one training space would eliminate over 1,000,000. Do you all understand the rules? Just as the 1,000,000 geniuses were discussing animatedly, the green-robed man spoke once more. His vigorous voice carried a sense of majesty. Understood. Hearing that, the 1,000,000 geniuses were all shaken, immediately responding. Since it's like that, then I announce, the pinnacle battle of humanity officially begins. The man's gaze swept past the 1,000,000 geniuses, smiling as he spoke, waving his right hand. In the next moment, there was a huge rumble. A formless, peculiar energy descended upon the circular plaza. In an instant, the 1,000,000 geniuses all glowed with a peculiar light, teleporting and disappearing. Whoosh! Luofeng appeared on a meteorite and looked around. There were several tiny stars in the distance. A 7-story tower floated in front of him. It was the Tower of Trials that the green-robed man had mentioned. Each tower was like a huge mountain. They were at least 10 kilometers tall and had a radius of a few kilometers. Trial space. Luofeng lowered his head to look at his wrist. There was a screen on it, just like the Ganwu Universe Country's elimination. Participant, Luofeng Universe Country, Ganwu Universe Country Empire, Black Dragon Mountain Empire Affiliation Points, 0 ranking, none current trial space, number 7520. Note 1. You can get a maximum of 10,000 points per floor of the trial tower. The higher the floor, the harder it is to get points. If you succeed in every floor, you can get 70,000 points. 2. Once you die, the trial ends. 3. There are 2 ways to pass through each floor. First, kill all the targets on this floor and obtain the highest number of points to be directly teleported to the next floor. 2. If you don't kill all the targets, but are able to survive for 2 hours without dying, you will still be teleported to the next floor. The number of points awarded will be based on the number of targets killed. 4. When all the participants have died, the trial ends and the ranking is determined. During the trial, every participant's ranking will change in real time. Interesting. After reading the information on the screen, Luo Feng's lips curled into a smile, eager to try. Especially the 4th point, the end of all death trials. What did this mean? Which meant, in the eyes of the people who created this trial space, they didn't think anyone could pass all 7 floors of the tower. After understanding the rules, Luo Feng walked towards the tower. Luo Feng had just pushed open the door when the words on the screen changed. First level, 10,000 ferocious beast blood hair mammoths. Every time you kill a ferocious beast, you get 1 point. Killing all of them gives you 10,000 points. Looking around, the so-called level of the tower was like a world of its own, vast and boundless. This was a dark red land, and the air was filled with the piercing smell of fresh blood. Rumble. The moment Chu Bei stepped in, from the distant land came a rush of horse hooves, along with a heart-palpitating roar. After which, a blur of blood-hair mammoths, as though they had gone mad, pounced over. Luo Feng's gaze froze. Looking at the incoming mammoth army, there was no fear on his face. In the slaughter space, he had once killed an army of 100,000 mammoths, not to mention the 10,000 before him. With a low roar, Luo Feng's hands were wrapped in a black light, rushing towards the incoming mammoth army. At the same time, the geniuses from the other training spaces all entered the tower and began their slaughter. Even though there were many of these blood-hair mammoths, they were only at the Star Traveler level. Whether it was strength or speed, they couldn't compare to these geniuses. Hence, every one of them was able to pass the first level. The difference was, other than the 10,000 points, the earlier they passed, the more points they got, and the higher the rankings. Primal Universe, Primal Chaos Square. A group of Universe warriors looked seriously at the screen, observing the changes in the rankings of the 1 million geniuses. Of course, their focus was still on the top 100. Indeed, the vast ocean universe country. This Bolin, he's rushed to first place in a flash. I heard that this punk Bolin is the strongest of the vast ocean universe country's younger generation. With the title of Death God, he may very well be the first place of this genius battle. Pungu Universe Country's Gu Feng is just like the rumors. His points are still chasing Bolin. Third place is Man Ka Universe Country's Little Prince Man who, he's really inherited his father's legacy. Comparing back and forth, every time the top 10 comes from a few universe countries. When will our universe country have such a genius? Vast Ocean, Pungu, Man Ka, these universe countries, within our 1008 universe countries, their overall strength has always been in the top 5. Their leaders are all pinnacle knights, all half-universe masters. What's there to be jealous of? That's true. Let's just pray that our country will have a genius enter the top 1,000. The group of warriors' gazes landed on the projected list, discussing. Vast Ocean, Pungu, Man Ka, these universe country leaders looked at the names on the list, their brows filled with pride. As for the rankings on the list, they had already expected it. Chapter 576. Training Field Number 1949. A black-clothed youth, he was handsome but expressionless. His entire being was like an ice mountain, carrying a blood-red long blade on his back. He was right in the middle of the mammoth army. With just a wave of his hand, terrifying wind blades swept out. This was a large area attack. This black-clothed youth was Vast Ocean Universe Country's Bolin. He was currently first in the points rankings. 2354 Training Field. A long-haired man dressed in a gray cape. His silhouette flashed as he crossed his hands. Every time he shouted coldly, the ground beneath his feet would shake violently, after which huge earth hands formed and smashed towards the mammoth army. As the long-haired man's huge hands landed, piles of minced meat floated in the air. It was extremely bloody. The long-haired man was from Pongu Universe Country. His name was Gu Feng. He had already comprehended the wind and earth laws. His points ranking was second. 7456 Training Field. A tall and muscular man covered in a battle suit was charging through the mammoth army like a bull. Although he seemed crude and simple, every time he exploded, there would be a terrifying energy wave that would sweep out. The tall and sturdy man was called Man-Hu. He was from Manka Universe Country. His points ranking was third. Within the million training towers, the geniuses were all filled with killing intent. They all unleashed their absolute abilities, destroying the mammoth army. Looking around, the universe countries that appeared in the top 100 rankings were all the strongest of the 1008, amongst which Vast Ocean, Pongu, and Manka Universe countries had many people on the rankings. Quickly look. There's a change in the top 10. Ganwu Universe Country, Luofeng? How can that be? Ever since the Pinnacle Genius competition started, this Ganwu Universe Country has never entered the top 100 before. The competition has only just begun. This is only the first level. I can only say that this Luofeng's killing moves are all focused on a large area. Swallow, Meteor Missile. Within the 75-20 training tower, Luofeng rose into the air, his hands forming a cross, gathering the swallowing energy to form a black ball with a diameter of 1 m. As he shouted, the black sphere instantly shot out hundreds and thousands of stray bullets. These stray bullets bombarded the body of the blood-haired mammoth, and the mammoth's huge body suddenly twisted. Shrill and painful cries filled the entire first floor of the trial tower. And because of this large area of effect meteor missiles, Luofeng directly jumped to 6th place. Your Black Dragon Mountain Empire has really given me a pleasant surprise. The Ganwu Universe country leader looked at the two words Luofeng on the top 10 list. He couldn't help but look at Chu Bei and the Black Dragon Mountain country leader, his eyes filled with shock. Not only the Ganwu Universe country leader, the other country leaders all had expressions of disbelief. Amongst all the universe countries, their Ganwu Universe country was considered to be in the middle, hence they had never thought of nurturing a genius that could squeeze into the top 100. But now, this guy from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire called Luofeng, not only did he enter the top 100, he even jumped into the top 10. The competition has just begun. This Luofeng is only temporarily in the top 10. That's right. The mammoths on the first level only have planetary state power. The points ranking is nothing more than who kills faster. It doesn't determine the final strength of the participants. Wait till the 3rd, 4th, and even 5th level. That's where the points will truly be drawn apart. Ganwu region. The country leaders that were against the Black Dragon Mountain country leader Lu Mubai all let out discordant voices. Amongst them included the emperor-level Undying Li Feng. Enough. Hearing the complaints behind him, the Ganwu Universe country leader creased his eyebrows. It doesn't matter if the competition is over or not. Even if one enters the top 100 in the process, that's something our Ganwu Universe country has never had before, much less the top 10. Shouldn't this be something worth rejoicing over? Against the Ganwu Universe country leader's reprimand, the discordant voices all vanished. My friend, I wonder if it's possible for you to tell me about the inheritance of your celestial shop? I'm very interested in your celestial shop. The Ganwu Universe country leader looked at Chu Bei, his face full of smiles. It's only been established recently. There's no such thing as inheritance. It's all just training methods that I've written down based on my comprehension. Chu Bei replied calmly. That energy should be the swallowing energy, right? It seems like a space beast talent. The Ganwu Universe country leader raised his suspicions. Could it be that you've crossed paths with space beasts before? Does killing a small beast count as crossing paths? Chu Bei looked at the Ganwu Universe country leader, his expression playful. Since you don't wish to speak, then I won't ask any further. The Ganwu Universe country leader thought that Chu Bei was making fun of him, his expression slightly ugly. I hope this disciple of yours will continue to surprise me. As time passed, Vast Ocean Universe country's Bolin was the first to enter the 2nd level. Very quickly, Pongu Universe country's Gu Feng and Manka Universe country's Man-Hu followed suit. After the 3 of them, the other elites all entered one after another. Luofeng was ranked 6th. The 2nd level of the Tower of Trials was misty. Compared to the 1st level, it was even more vast and vast. Amidst the fierce winds, the mist was blown away. The ground trembled. It was an endless amount of black armored beasts. Their strength was far above the mammoth, equivalent to a star level 1. Similar to the first level, the second level didn't pose much difficulty to the 1,000,000 geniuses. Hence, the rankings didn't change much. The third level was the same. However, at the fourth level, the beast's strength had already reached star level 8. Against such a beast army, the geniuses without large area of effect killing techniques were all eliminated. As for the fifth level of the Tower of Trials, it was shrouded in black mist. One couldn't even see one's own fingers. The space was filled with howls and cries. In the darkness, pairs of blood-red eyes could be vaguely seen. It was a strange life form. Its body was translucent, it was humanoid, and it had 2 pairs of wings on its back. Even though there were only 100 of these strange life forms with wings, they were all star level 9 pinnacle. It's the black bat wings. Looks like the game is about to end. This time, if we want to pass, we won't be able to rely on large area of effect killing techniques. On the Primal Chaos Plaza, countless gazes saw the life forms of the 5th level, their eyes flashing with shock. Rumble. With a huge rumble, more and more geniuses entered the 5th level. However, under the ferocious attacks of the Black Batwing Army, these geniuses were quickly eliminated. 800,000, 500,000, 300,000, 100,000, 50,000. Only 15 minutes had passed. The number of geniuses still struggling on the 5th level was less than 10,000. This Bolin is indeed very strong. From the 1st level, he's maintained his 1st place. Pungu Universe Country's Gu Feng and Manka Universe Country's Man, who are the same too, firmly in 2nd and 3rd place. But this Luo Feng from the Ganwu Universe Country, he's really shocking. I thought he wouldn't be able to hold on for long at the 5th level. I didn't expect his ranking to rise to 4th. He's already closing in on Man Who. I didn't expect us to be so wrong. This Luo Feng, he really has some strength. The group of Universe Country leaders looked at the projection, their gazes all focused on Luo Feng's name, the biggest dark horse of this genius battle. Ganwu Universe region. Good, very good. The Ganwu Universe Country leader said 3 consecutive good words. His lips curled into an exaggerated smile, his expression extremely satisfied. Up till now, Luo Feng had already successfully killed all the Black Batwings and passed the 5th level of the Tower of Trials, entering the 6th level. From his current points, even if Luo Feng couldn't pass the 6th level, his points would still be enough to enter the top 1,000, or even the top 100. If he could maintain this momentum and pass the 6th level, then he would definitely enter the top 5. Senior, this ranking is something I didn't even dare to think about. Lu Mubai looked at the rankings and then at Chu Bei. He was so excited he almost lost his composure. The other Universe Country leaders were all stunned, glancing at each other, their eyes filled with excitement. Even though this Luo Feng wasn't from their empire, he represented their entire Universe Country. On the 6th level of the Tower of Trials, there was only one life form. It was a puppet made of some unknown material. Its strength had already reached the Universe level 1. With the appearance of this puppet, it immediately reduced the number of geniuses from 10,000 to less than 1,000. Of the 1,000 that passed, 90% of them didn't kill the puppet. They only lasted for 10 minutes against the puppet. At this time, including the Universe Country leaders, no one in the plaza looked down on Luo Feng anymore. They completely treated him as an absolute genius like Bolin, Gu Feng, and Man Hu. The 7th level, which was also the last level of the Tower of Trials, was actually guarded by a Universe level 5 life form. Whether it was Bolin, Gu Feng, or Man Hu, when they saw this life form, they couldn't help but frown, their expressions extremely ugly. Luo Feng was the same, immediately falling into a tough battle. As for the other geniuses that passed the 7th level, they relied on their own strength to kill the puppet on the 6th level, and a small portion of them could still barely fight. As for the geniuses that only lasted for 10 minutes, against the Universe level 5 life form, they didn't even have the ability to fight back. After a few rounds, they couldn't even hold on and were finally eliminated. Time passed by the minutes and seconds. 10 minutes later, those that hadn't been eliminated, only 8 remained. Chapter 577. Little guys, congratulations on passing the Tower of Trials. The moment the elimination competition ended, the green-robed man from the Virtual Universe Company appeared once again, his voice resounding throughout the training spaces. Of course, the little punks he was referring to were Bolin, Gu Feng, Manhu, Luo Feng, and the other 8 geniuses that passed the 7th level. Virtual Universe. Glory Continent. 1,008 skyscrapers surrounded the plaza. After the elimination competition ended, Bolin, Gu Feng, Manhu, Luo Feng, and the other surviving geniuses were all teleported back. The eliminated geniuses too returned to the plaza. Luo Feng looked at the information on his arm and creased his eyebrows. Universe Country, Ganwu Universe Country Empire, Black Dragon Mountain Empire Sect, Heaven Shop Points, 76,000 rank, 4 trial space, number 7520. It wasn't that his strength was lower than the top 3, it was just that his large area of effect killing techniques were weaker than theirs. Hence, the difference in points from the first 5 levels couldn't be made up for in the last 2 levels. Little punks, your performance this year must be better than the previous years. What I didn't expect was that 8 of you were able to pass the tower. The green-robed man's hands were behind his back as he floated in mid-air, his powerful voice resounding in the ears of the 1,000,000 geniuses. The elimination competition has ended. The top 10 of the rankings can directly enter the top 16 finals. As for the remaining 6 spots, they'll be fought for in turns. The green-robed man's voice resounded again. The second day. This is the primal universe? It's indeed, as the rumors say, the origin laws can be seen with the naked eye. The thought of being able to study here after the competition makes me extremely excited. Bolin, later when we meet, you have to go easy on me. Luo Feng, who's your teacher? You're the one that's getting the most attention this year, right? I've never heard of you before. Don't tell me your teacher is the universe master of the Ganwu universe? A ship had just landed in the primal universe. 16 silhouettes under the lead of a green-robed man rushed out of the cabin door, after which there were shocked shouts. In order to allow the 16 of you to unleash your full potential, the final competition venue will be the Chaos Square that I'll be bringing you to. The green-robed man's gaze swept past Luo Feng and the others. With a wave of his sleeve, he brought the 16 of them and disappeared. 3 minutes later. Vast Ocean Universe Country's Bolin greets the Lords. Penggu, Yuzhou's Gu Feng greets the Lords. Mankai Universe Country's Man who greets the Lords. Ganwu Universe Country's Luo Feng greets all the Lords. Under the lead of the green-robed man, Bolin, Luo Feng, and the other 16 arrived at the Primal Chaos Plaza. When they saw the group of Universe Country leaders seated in the spectator stands, they all bowed respectfully. You are the future hope of the human race. Welcome to Primal Chaos City. I will personally host the following matches. Suddenly, a thunderous roar resounded above the Chaos Square, drifting far away and covering the entire primal universe. In the next moment, a ripple appeared above the square, and a resplendent ball of light appeared. There was a human figure in the ball of light, but it seemed to be wrapped in a mysterious power, so it was hard to see clearly. Greetings, Primal Chaos City leader. At this time, all the natives of Primal Chaos City bowed towards the human figure in the ball of light. The group of Universe Country leaders and Empire Country leaders all stood up and clasped their fists towards the human figure. Before this, they had personally witnessed the scene of 2 Universe Country leaders being suppressed by one palm. Now that they stood up, it was respect for the strong. Primal Chaos City leader, Bolin, Luo Feng, and the others exchanged glances. Looking at the countless Universe Country leaders clasping their fists, they reacted and bowed. The Primal Chaos City leader's gaze swept past the group of Universe Country leaders, after which he looked at Bolin, Luo Feng, and the other 16. The following matches only have one meaning, and that is to pick out the strongest amongst you to become the next leader of the Virtual Universe Company. Hence, other than the first place, the other rankings don't have much meaning. Because to be able to reach this point, no matter if you are the last or second place, we will do our best to groom you. Hearing this, the group of Universe Country leaders took a deep breath. Even though they had heard this from the green-robed man before, right now, hearing it personally from the Primal Chaos City leader was a completely different feeling. Brother Han, Congratulations. The vast ocean universe country will quickly form a relationship with the virtual universe company. Brother Peng must be joking. That Gu Feng's strength is terrifying too. Whether Bolin can defeat him is still hard to say. You two can stop flattering each other. Anyway, it's just your two countries. The vast ocean universe country leader, Pongu universe country leader, and Manka universe country leader all had smiles on their faces. Especially the vast ocean universe country leader. His eyes were filled with anticipation and excitement. Senior, do you think Luo Feng has any hope? In the Ganwu region, Lu Mubai let out a long breath, staring straight at Chu Bei. As he was too excited, his voice was trembling. If this was before the elimination rounds, he wouldn't even dare think about it. However, in the Tower of Trials, Luo Feng had given him too much shock, even jumping to 4th place in total points. And because he had witnessed Luo Feng's strength, he was filled with anticipation. If Luo Feng could really take 1st place and become the successor of the Virtual Universe Company, then his Black Dragon Mountain Empire would definitely become the first subsidiary empire of the Ganwu Universe Country. The Ganwu Universe Country leader beside also looked at Chu Bei, waiting for his reply. After all, this Luo Feng was his disciple. As for how strong Luo Feng was, only he knew the full extent of it. He too hoped with all his heart that Luo Feng could take 1st place. That way, within the 1008 universe countries, his Ganwu universe country's position would definitely rise, right up to the vast ocean and Pongu universe countries. If he can't get 1st, then I'll kick him out of the all-heaven shop. Chu Bei glanced indifferently at Lu Mubai, his words carrying a smile. Hearing Chu Bei's words and looking at his relaxed expression, Lu Mubai and the Ganwu universe country leader's eyes gleamed with hope. Little punks, the following matches will be 2-on-1 battles. The 1st to 8th place in the elimination rounds will battle the 9th to 16th place respectively. As the Primal Chaos City leader's voice landed, with a loud rumble, 8-round arenas appeared in the plaza. 5 minutes later, the 16 participants of the finals stood in their respective arenas. Luo Feng was in the 4th arena. His opponent was the original 12th place red-haired youth. Brother Luo, I've heard that your moves are strange. Let me have a taste of them. On the arena, the red-haired youth cupped his fists towards Luo Feng and immediately used his strongest move. Chapter 578. Rumble. Almost at the same time, intense battle sounds could be heard from the other 7 arenas. All sorts of lights flashed. It was incredibly beautiful. The one that ended the quickest was Vast Ocean Universe Country's Bolin's arena. Maybe Bolin's opponent knew how terrifying he was. After just 3 exchanges, he chose to admit defeat and jumped off the arena. That punk from Xianlai Universe Country just admitted defeat like that? That's too straightforward. His opponent is the genius of the younger generation, the one called Death God, Bolin. I'm afraid you don't know. The two of them have already fought over 300 times against each other. As for the results, they all ended with him losing. Even the longest fight, he didn't even last more than 20 rounds against Bolin. No wonder. That means to admit defeat after 3 exchanges, he still retains some face. To put it bluntly, who doesn't know the outcome in our hearts? We're just going through the motions. We just want to see the final battle between the two. I have to say, that black horse from the Ganwu universe pot called Luo Feng does have some strength. He actually forced Angela from the 100 Lake Universe Country to retreat, and he didn't even seem to use his full strength. In the Primal Chaos Plaza's viewing platform, the group of Universe Country leaders watched the battles on the 8 arenas, discussing. After just 5 minutes, other than Bolin's arena, Gu Feng, Manhu, Luo Feng and the others' battles all ended. The results weren't unexpected. The top 8 defeated the bottom 8. After the first round ended, 2 hours later, the second round began. It was still 2-on-2 battles, the top 4 against the bottom 4. The second round's 4 battles didn't have much suspense. Bolin, Gu Feng, Man Ka, and Luo Feng won. During this process, what shocked the group of Universe Country leaders was that Luo Feng's battle ended the quickest. After 2 hours, we'll begin the finals of the top 4. It'll still be 2-on-2 battles until the strongest of the 4 is chosen. The city leader's gaze swept past Bolin, Luo Feng and the other 3, nodding satisfactorily. I didn't expect Luo Feng's overall strength to be so strong. I thought he'd stop at the top 8. I didn't expect him to make it to the top 4. This doesn't seem to be any different from the elimination round rankings. However, this should be the end of his journey. That's true. Bolin, Gu Feng, and Man Hu are all stronger than him. Looking at the remaining 4 on the battlefield, the group of Universe country leaders began to talk about the dark horse, Luo Feng. The Gamu Universe ruler and Lu Mubai glanced at Chu Bei before looking at each other. While they were excited, their faces were also filled with nervousness. No matter what the outcome of the following battles were, his Ganwu Universe country and the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's reputation would greatly increase. 2 hours later, rumble. A loud explosion rang out from the center of the Primal Chaos Square. The 8-round arenas on the battlefield had disappeared, and in their place were 2 square arenas that were several times larger than the original ones. Stage 1, Vast Ocean Universe Country Bolin vs. Menka Universe Country Man Hu. Stage 2, Penggu Universe Country Gu Feng vs. Ganwu Universe Country Luo Feng. Contestants, please step onto the stage. The battle is about to begin. The resplendent ball of light that enveloped the Primal Chaos City leader appeared in mid-air, once again appearing before everyone's eyes. Following that was his ethereal voice that was hard to capture. With the sound of space breaking, Bolin, Gu Feng, Man Hu and Luo Feng appeared on their respective arenas. Bolin, I've been looking forward to this battle for a long time. I hope you don't disappoint me. Man Hu stared straight at Bolin, his eyes filled with battle intent. As his voice fell, he stomped his right foot, and the huge fighting stage immediately turned into a soft sponge. Countless earth giants appeared. Rumble. These earth giants didn't have any life. It was as though they were being controlled by a formless force. They flapped their bodies and roared like wild beasts. Indeed, the son of the Menka Universe country leader. He's only at the star level, and he's already comprehended the earth laws to such a level. Looking at the close to 100 earth giants on stage 1, the warriors on the viewing platforms all revealed shocked expressions. Brother man, this precious son of yours has really surpassed your master. He'll definitely go further than you in the future. Vast Ocean Universe country leader smiled at Menka Universe country leader. Of course, I've spent a lot of effort to nurture him. Menka Universe country leader looked proud after hearing Vast Ocean Universe country leader's words. He said, I just don't know how strong Bolin is. He won't disappoint you. Vast Ocean Universe country leader's words were filled with confidence. Fight. On the number 1 combat arena, as soon as Manka shouted, the almost 100 earth giants surged towards Bolin at the same time, and their roars shook the heavens. Facing the crazy earth giants, Bolin's white robe fluttered even though there was no wind. For the first time, he unsheathed the long sword on his back. The moment the long sword was unsheathed, the area around him was filled with green energy. It was as though there were thousands of Bolins in the green energy. The next moment, Bolin held the long sword and moved toward the earth giants that were rushing toward him. The blade was piercingly cold. Every slash seemed to slice through space. It was as fast as lightning. Every slash was so fast that the star-level geniuses couldn't see it clearly with their naked eyes. It was as strange as the wind. Every slash was so unpredictable that no one could predict its trajectory. It was as though there was no pattern. Chi, chi, chi. Bolin drifted among the close to 100 earth giants. Accompanied by an ear-piercing sound, every slash would turn the earth giants into dust. Then, one by one, the earth giants collapsed and were shattered by the blade energy. During this process, there would occasionally be a sharp blade ray that flew toward Menka, who was controlling the earth giants from afar. I'm afraid that in our generation, only Man Hu and Gu Feng can make Bolin use his sword. No wonder he's called the Grim Reaper. It's too terrifying. Outside the square, the 12 geniuses who were eliminated watched the battle on the stage and let out a long sigh. They were only spectators. Every slash of Bolin's was enough to make them feel suffocated. Bolin's sword was fast, strange, fierce, and unbelievably ingenious. All of them looked up to him in awe. Brother Luo, It's time for us to fight. Let the battle end quickly. On stage 2, Gu Feng played with the fan in his hand, smiling at Luo Feng. I won't go easy on you. Brother Gu, there's no need to go easy on me. If I lose, it'll be because my skills aren't up to par. Hearing Gu Feng's words, Luo Feng retracted his gaze from stage 1 and looked back at Gu Feng, clasping his fists. Brother Luo, take this. As Gu Feng spoke with a smile, he moved, leaving behind an afterimage in his original position. In an instant, Gu Feng had already appeared before Luo Feng. In the next moment, Gu Feng waved the fan in his hand, bringing about a terrifying wind blade that cut towards Luo Feng. Around the Primal Chaos battlefield, there were many Universe country leaders and Primal Chaos city leaders. They could use their strongest attacks without worrying about their opponents being killed. Because when there was truly danger, the city leader and Universe country leaders would immediately make a move. Of course, at this time, the victor would be decided. Looking at Gu Feng, who suddenly appeared before him, Luo Feng squinted his eyes. Without hesitation, a black light ball formed before him, aiming at the incoming attack. Chila, the powerful wind blade, clashed with the black light ball, bringing about an ear-piercing sound before vanishing. Almost at the same time, Luo Feng pulled away from Gu Feng, his expression becoming serious. He had to say, this Gu Feng before him was the fastest opponent he'd met so far. The sharp wind blades that the other party swung out also contained a terrifying energy fluctuation. Is this the ability that you control? It's indeed strange. Looking at the wind blade being swallowed by the black light ball, Gu Feng creased his eyebrows. At the same time, the fan in his hand began to dance again. Rumble. Gradually, the two arenas were engulfed in a fierce battle. All sorts of techniques were unleashed, bringing about an incomparably beautiful battle light, dazzling the eyes. My God, are these four punks really still at the star level? They're simply not on the same level as us. In the end, we've still underestimated this Luo Feng. At least from the looks of it, he's not weaker than Gu Feng at all. From the looks of it, it's still hard to say who will get first. The 12 eliminated geniuses looked at the first arena for a while before looking at the second arena. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Another 10 minutes passed. The battle on the two arenas had entered a white-hot state. More accurately, Bolin and Man, whose battle on stage 1 was nearing its end. Under Bolin's countless blade attacks, Man, whose energy began to become chaotic, as though he was being suppressed. Brother Man, your precious son doesn't seem to be able to hold on much longer. In the spectator stands, the Pongu Universe country leader looked at the Manka Universe country leader and said, he's already done his best. This Bolin is indeed very strong. He's definitely the number one of the younger generation. The Manka Universe country leader shook his head and sighed, after which he glanced at stage 2. It won't be easy for your Gu Feng to win. This Luo Feng's strength has once again exceeded our expectations. Don't rush. That punk Gu Feng hasn't even used his trump card yet. Towards the Manka Universe country leader's words, the Pungu Universe country leader didn't seem to care at all, saying, however, from the looks of it, that punk should be using his trump card soon. Otherwise, we really won't be able to take down this punk called Luo Feng. There's really hope. In the Ganwu region, including Lu Mubai and the Ganwu Universe country leader, all of their gazes were focused on stage 2. They were all excited, their eyes filled with anticipation. Rumble. Finally, along with a deafening explosion, the curtains to the battle on combat platform 1 came to an end. Looking over, the huge stage had been sliced into countless pieces. Man, whose silhouette was like a cannonball flying through the sky. The Manka Universe country leader vanished from his seat and appeared in the air above the stage, hugging Man who. Father, I've done my best. He's very strong. I'm still not his match. Man, whose voice was weak. You'll have another chance to spar in the future. I hope you'll be able to beat him next time. After saying that, the Manka Universe country leader brought Man who back to the spectator stands and began to heal him. On stage 1, Bolin sheathed his long sword and placed his hands behind his back, looking at stage 2. Chapter 579. On the other side. In the vast universe, there was a vast and mysterious starry sky. This starry sky was filled with space whirlpools, and each whirlpool had a diameter of dozens of meters. However, there were so many whirlpools that one couldn't see the end of them. They almost surrounded this starry sky. And in the middle of this starry sky, where countless space whirlpools surrounded, was a towering mountain range. In the mountain range, there was an obscure yet powerful force. Looking over, one could see countless space beasts flying in the mountain range. Space God Mountain was a country of space beasts. At this moment, deep in the mountain range, a space beast was flying across the starry sky, as if it had something urgent to do. Nanfeng, where are you going in such a hurry? Another starry sky beast flew over with a curious look on its face. I'm going to find the leader of the Golden Horn bloodline. One of their descendants was killed by the humans. He's only a star level. The space beast was holding a transparent crystal ball in its claw, and there were images flashing in it. What? The humans want to start a war? How dare they kill the baby of our space beast bloodline? Hearing this, the star behemoth's face suddenly became ugly, and its sharp claws flashed coldly. The human race is also a pinnacle race in the universe, said the space beast. Although they killed our baby, we can't rush back. As for what to do next, let Golden Horn Master make the decision. As it spoke, the space beast continued to fly across the starry sky. Among all the branches of the space beast bloodline, there was only one powerful universe master as the leader of each branch. The Golden Horn bloodline was an exception. It had two universe masters, Golden Horn Master and Xianmia Master. It flew across another piece of starry sky. Finally, the space beast arrived at a towering palace with countless golden horned beast carvings. The palace was huge and magnificent, and it emitted endless power. At this moment, there was a group of undying golden horned beasts flying and playing with each other on the square in front of the palace. When they saw the space beast from another bloodline flying over with a crystal ball, they all looked over curiously. Flame Rock bloodline? What are you doing in our territory? Some golden horned beasts frowned and asked the giant Flame Rock beast why it was here. Although they were all giant beasts of the starry sky, their branches rarely interacted with each other, unless it was related to the extinction of their race. I'm a member of the Starry Sky God Palace. I've discovered that your children have been killed by humans. The scene before my death has been transmitted back. I am here to hand it over to you, Golden Horn Master, the giant Flame Rock beast said. What? Our children have been killed by humans. It's still in its infancy. Damn it. Are the humans going to start a war? The dignity of our golden-horned beast bloodline cannot be violated. The group of golden-horned beasts immediately let out roars filled with killing intent, shaking the skies. Little fellow, come in. Let me see which human dares to kill my descendant. At this moment, a vigorous voice sounded from the palace. The moment the voice sounded, all the golden-horned beasts, including the giant Flame Rock beast, felt a tremor from their bloodlines. They all wanted to submit. They knew that the person who spoke was Golden Horn Master. The giant Flame Rock beast's body also trembled, but when it reacted, it immediately flew into the palace. Greetings, Golden Horn Master. After entering the palace, the giant Flame Rock beast saw the golden-horned beast with gigantic scaled wings floating at the highest point of the palace. The giant Flame Rock beast immediately knelt down, looking extremely respectful. Although this ancient being before him was not the leader of his bloodline, just like his leader, he was one of the pioneers of the entire space beast race. To be exact, this Golden Horn Master had lived longer than his leader, and he was an extremely terrifying being. Shoo! A beam of light shot out from Golden Horn Master's eyes, and he snatched the crystal ball from the giant Flame Rock beast's claw to watch the scene of the battle before the death of the young golden-horned beast. Do you think the Golden Horn bloodline is easy to bully? After watching the video, Golden Horn Master's lantern-like eyes suddenly contracted. His eyes seemed to have endless whirlpools, as though the universe stars were annihilated. With a cold snort, the entire palace started to shake violently, and the air was filled with an extremely terrifying force. The next moment, there was a loud rumble, and Golden Horn Master's gigantic body disappeared. Primal Universe, Primal Chaos City. Who would have thought that Luo Feng could actually battle with Pongu Universe country's Gu Feng to such an extent? This Gu Feng is known as a genius from the Pongu Universe country that only appears once in a million years. He's still at the star level, yet he already has an initial grasp of the wind origin laws and space origin laws. That punk Luo Feng's ability is very strange. There's obviously no law ripples, yet he can withstand and even counterattack Gu Feng's fierce attacks. From the current situation, the two of them seem to be evenly matched, but in reality, if one of them is careless, this battle will end instantly. In the spectator stands, the group of universe country leaders focus their gazes on the battle on stage 2. Even though the battle on stage 1 had already ended, the battle between Luo Feng and Gu Feng was still very exciting. As the two of them were evenly matched, it was hard to predict who would emerge victorious, and it was even more exciting than the battle between Bolin and Manhu. In the Ganwu region, the Ganwu Universe country leader, Black Dragon Mountain country leader, and the other country leaders all looked at Luo Feng with anticipation, their expressions nervous. Only Chu Bei was as calm as ever, as though he had seen through the outcome. Luo Feng, you have the right to be my opponent. It's a pity that you've been hidden by the Ganwu Universe country for too long. Otherwise, we would have been able to spar a long time ago. On the stage, Gu Feng suddenly pulled apart the distance between him and Luo Feng, hovering on one side. If this was under normal circumstances, I might consider it a draw. However, the situation right now is special. I have to win. Gu Feng looked calmly at Luo Feng. As his cold voice sounded, the space around him began to rumble, and a blur of tiny energies appeared. Behind him, a huge whirlpool formed, after which Gu Feng's hands danced. In an instant, the countless energies overlapped, almost like a beehive. The sound of space being sliced apart was chilling. This is wind thread flow. How is that possible? No matter how good this Gu Feng's talent is, he's still a star level. Over tens of millions of years, to be able to train the wind thread flow, one has to at least be a universe level 9. However, from the rhythm of the wind, that's obviously wind thread flow. The battle has already reached this point. I didn't expect Gu Feng to still have such a move hidden. If he had used the wind thread flow earlier, the battle would have ended even faster than Bolin and Manhu's battle. Seeing the beehive-like energies surrounding Gu Feng's body, the expressions of the warriors in the stands immediately changed. They were filled with shock, almost like they had seen something unbelievable. Wind thread flow. This is the trump card of that punk you were talking about? It's indeed incredible. The Mankai Universe country leader looked at the Pongu Universe country leader beside him and said, half a year ago, when this little fellow cultivated the wind line style, it really gave me a fright. This was originally meant to be used against that punk Bolin. I didn't expect this Luo Feng's performance to give me so many surprises. The Pongu Universe country leader said, shaking his head and smiling. Not far from the stage, Bolin, who had already finished his battle, when he saw Gu Feng unleash the wind thread flow, his eyes couldn't help but flash with shock. His expression slightly moved. Brother Han, I'm afraid Bolin won't be able to become this year's champion. A universe country leader looked at the vast ocean universe country leader and smiled. I have to say, for this punk Gu Feng to be able to train the risk flow at the star level, his comprehension of the wind laws can be said to be the most talented in the history of humanity. However, even if he has a trump card, how could Bolin not have one too? The vast ocean universe country leader's expression didn't change at all, still smiling, as though he wasn't worried about Bolin going up against Gu Feng. So that's the case. Then we'll wait and see. Hearing the vast ocean universe country leader's words, the universe country leader who spoke earlier smiled, his gaze returning to the second stage. Senior, I didn't expect this Gu Feng to actually train the wind thread flow. In terms of battle strength, he's probably comparable to a normal level 6 universe level. Can Luo Feng take it? Ganwu region, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader Lu Mubai's expression grew serious. Beside him, the Ganwu universe country leader frowned too. Chu Bei smiled knowingly and didn't say anything. He just pointed at the number 2 arena and indicated for the other party to continue watching. Chi. In the battlefield, Gu Feng clasped his hands together and fiercely slashed down. With an ear-piercing sound, the wind tornado behind him brought along a blur of intersecting, terrifying air currents and rushed towards Luo Feng's position. Everywhere the wind tornado passed, the space was torn apart. The space cracks extended in all directions, almost like a spider web, causing one to feel a chill just by looking at it. Feeling the terrifying wind blade attack that hadn't even arrived yet, Luo Feng's expression became serious. The wind thread flow's area of attack was extremely bright, engulfing the entire stage. He could choose to fly out of the arena's area of attack, but that was just another form of surrender. Swallow. Meteor hammer. Luo Feng rose into the air, his body instantly covered in a layer of black energy, almost like an armor. The black armor swiftly expanded, instantly reaching a height of 300 m. Just as Luo Feng shouted, a huge black hammer appeared in the hands of the 1,000 zhang armored warrior. However, if one looked carefully, one would realize that the hammer wasn't made of metal, but rather was swiftly compressed by the black energy. Rumble. Before the warriors in the stands could even react, the 300 m armor around Luo Feng's body had already swung the hammer towards Gu Feng's 10,000 thread flow. In the next moment, the hammer rushed towards the wind tornado, almost like a tidal wave, its power terrifying. Wherever the sledgehammer passed, the void was smashed into pieces, causing rumbling sounds to ring out. Chapter 580. Within the battlefield, the loud rumbles continued as the huge hammer swept through the air. The black energy within was like a river, twisting the space around it. So you haven't even used your full strength. Looking at the incoming black energy hammer, Gu Feng looked at Luo Feng, his pupils squinting. Although he could not sense the origin source laws contained within the sledgehammer, the aura contained within it was a strange and terrifying energy. Moreover, his intuition vaguely told him that this energy was definitely not something that his wind stream could handle. Rumble. The black sledgehammer collided with the tornado. With a loud rumble, the space around them warped, forming a huge black hole, and the tornado that was able to slice through space, with its honeycomb-like energy flow, under the attack of the black hammer, was instantly shattered and swallowed by the black hole. At this time, the primal chaos square went silent. Within the battlefield, it wasn't over yet. After the black sledgehammer shattered and swallowed the tornado, it continued to move forward, heading for Gu Feng. Gu Feng regained his senses. A whirlwind immediately rose under his feet. However, just as he was about to dodge the hammer, he suddenly realized that his body was being sucked in by the formless energy from the hammer. His movements became incredibly slow. With his current speed, there was no way he could dodge the attack of the black hammer. Unable to dodge, Gu Feng could only gather all his energy in his right hand, forming a thick wall of wind before him, prepared to block the terrifying black hammer. Gotcha! However, in front of the black hammer, the wind wall that Gu Feng used all his energy on was like a thin piece of paper, having no effect at all, easily crumbling apart. Looking at the rapidly enlarging black hammer in his line of sight, Gu Feng felt an inexplicable sense of helplessness. Due to the suction force, he could not avoid it, and due to the terrifying power of the hammer, his attack appeared to be very weak. The moment the wind threads were destroyed, he knew he had already lost this battle. Luo Feng Punk, let's stop here, we've lost. Just as the black hammer was about to hit Gu Feng's body, a sigh resounded above the battlefield. Pongguyu Universe country leader appeared behind Gu Feng. In the next moment, he threw out a punch, shattering the black hammer and bringing Gu Feng away from the fighting ring. During this process, the moment his fist collided with the black hammer, his expression clearly flashed. He looked at Luo Feng with even more shock in his eyes. Pengyu Zhou's Gu Feng has lost. How? How is this possible? He's trained in the wind line. Even against a normal level 6 universe level, he has the ability to fight. That black hammer from before was Luo Feng's trump card. In the previous battle, he had actually hidden his strength so deeply. It's too scary. What kind of power is that? Even the wind streams have been shattered. From the looks of it, Luo Feng and Gu Feng's battle is far more exciting than Bolin and Manhu's battle. On the spectating platform, all the experts recovered from their daze. The original silence was instantly broken, and it became clamorous and bustling. After that, all of them started sizing up Luo Feng once again. Their gazes were filled with passion, as if they were looking at their prey. We still underestimated him. Haha, so I actually lost to such a monster. Even Gu Feng lost, then it's only natural that I lost. In the distance, the 12 eliminated geniuses exchanged glances. They could see the shock in each other's eyes. Brother Peng, what's with your expression? On the spectator platform, Pengguyu Zhou country leader had just returned to his seat when Menka Universe country leader asked curiously, that Punk's hammer earlier, other than the peculiar swallowing attack, his energy ripples have already reached the level 8 universe level. Pengguyu Zhou country leader frowned and said, what? Level 8? Not just Gu Feng. Even that punk Bolin has no chance of winning. That means, isn't he the champion this time? The future leader of the Virtual Universe Company. Menka Universe country leader took a deep breath. He glanced at Luo Feng on the stage and then at the Ganwu Universe country leader. I really don't know how he managed to nurture such a genius. As for the All Heavens shop, I'm afraid he's the sect master himself. Brother Han, that punk from the Ganwu Universe country called Luo Feng is not simple. Do you think Bolin can win now? A Universe country leader asked the Vast Ocean Universe country leader again. Towards this question, this time, the Vast Ocean Universe country leader's expression darkened. He snorted coldly, his expression extremely ugly. He won. He really won. If one were to talk about the entire platform, the most excited person would be the Black Dragon Mountain country leader Lu Mubai. He was so excited that he immediately stood up. Next was the Ganwu Universe country leader. Of course, the other country leaders of the Ganwu region were also extremely happy. Even though this Luo Feng didn't come from their empire, in this universe competition, he represented their universe country. If this Luo Feng could really win the finals and become the leader of the Virtual Universe Company, then their empire would rise along with their universe country's position in the universe. Little punks, you've really let me see 2 exciting battles. With you all here, our human race will never fall and will forever be the pinnacle race. At this moment, an ethereal voice that sounded like rolling thunder covered the clamor of the Chaos Square, after which, the Primal Chaos City leader's light once again appeared in the air above the plaza. It was resplendent and glaring, releasing a powerful and terrifying energy ripple. I announce the winner of Stage 1, Vast Ocean Universe Country Bolin, from the Vast Ocean Royal Family. The winner of Stage 2, Ganwu Universe Country Luo Feng, from the Great Heaven Shop. 2 beams of light shot out from the Primal Chaos City leader's light. After sweeping through all the warriors in the plaza, he said, the final battle will begin in 6 hours. Just as the Primal Chaos City leader finished speaking, the 2 fighting stages on the square disappeared with a loud boom. Different from before, this time there wasn't a new stage. Instead, there was a piece of ground with the laws embedded in it. The area it covered was much larger than the previous 2 arenas combined. Who do you think will be the final champion? I thought it would be either Bolin or Gu Feng. Who'd expect this dark horse Luo Feng to be so strong? After seeing Luo Feng's methods, it's hard to say who will win now. We just don't know what Bolin's trump card is like. We'll know in 6 hours. During the resting time after the battle, whether it was the warriors in the stands or the eliminated geniuses, they were all discussing and guessing the results of the battle. Are you confident? Vast Ocean Region, Vast Ocean Universe country leader looked calmly at Bolin. 50%. Bolin said, you have to win, even if you have to resort to underhanded means. Vast Ocean Universe country leader's voice was cold. I understand. Bolin let out a long breath. 6 hours later, Luo Feng and Bolin both appeared on the battlefield. At that moment, regardless of whether it was the universe country masters on the stands or the original residents of the primal universe in the distant sky, including Primal Chaos City leader, Everyone's eyes were focused on Luo Feng and Bolin. Their eyes were filled with anticipation. You really shocked me. Bolin looked at Luo Feng, his voice calm. When Gu Feng unleashed his wind threads, I thought he would be my opponent. I didn't expect you to be hiding something as well, and even stronger. I don't care about the rewards from the virtual universe company, but I can't embarrass my master. Hence, I cannot lose. Luo Feng said indifferently, Master? Ganwu Universe country leader? Bolin glanced at the direction of the Ganwu Universe region. No, it's someone else. Luo Feng shook his head. Bolin frowned at Luo Feng's reply, but he didn't continue asking, You can't lose, and so can I. This battle, I have to win. Luo Feng didn't reply. Instead, he rose into the air, after which a layer of black energy rose from his body, forming a 300 tall armor. Rumble. With a deafening roar, a huge black hammer appeared in the armor's hand. The hammer swayed. The space around immediately warped. Layers of black light surged like waves into the distance, its power terrifying. He's using his trump card right from the start? From the looks of it, the battle will end very quickly. That's true. There's no need to test him anymore. Looking at the 300 armor on Luo Feng's body, the group of warriors were shocked. Bolin, who was in the middle of the battlefield, looked at Luo Feng and frowned, unsheathing his long sword. The long sword danced, bringing with it a fierce gale. The sword that seemed slow but was actually extremely fast blended into the gale, and there was no way it could not penetrate, making sizzling sounds. Fight! Bolin wielded his long sword, his eyes gleaming. As he roared, the long sword in his hand became a resplendent light. An endless amount of blade light gathered and formed an energy storm that engulfed the entire battlefield. In an instant, Bolin's body became illusionary, instantly splitting into 9 images, every one of them with the same energy. That's the 9 illusions' true body. How is that possible? This generation's punks are too crazy. Before there was the wind thread, now there's the 9 illusions' true body. In terms of difficulty, the 9 illusions' true body is even more difficult than the wind thread. Looking at the 9 illusionary silhouettes in the battlefield, the group of warriors were shocked. The shock in their eyes was no less than when they saw Gu Feng unleash the wind thread. Chila. The 9 Bolins moved in unison, waving their long swords. With a buzzing sound, the 9 resplendent blade lights were glaring. The moment they shot out, the 9 silhouettes overlapped and the 9 blade lights merged together. In an instant, the blade lights that were originally only 6 long grew to 150 long. The blade lights wreaked havoc in the sky, heading straight for Luo Feng. Luo Feng's expression didn't change, controlling the black hammer to meet them. Chapter 581. Rumble. In the battlefield, where they clashed, space exploded and terrifying ripples spread far and wide. Amidst the continuous explosions, the blade and the black hammer were locked in a stalemate. The former unleashed a terrifying destructive power in an attempt to annihilate the latter. The latter, on the other hand, unleashed a terrifying suction force that was madly devouring the energy within the sword light. Indeed, Bolin can't withstand that force either. Penggu region, Gu Feng looked at the resplendent blade that was about to be destroyed, muttering to himself. However, just as Gu Feng's words left his mouth, a crisp sound rang out, and the sharp sword ray shattered. It could no longer maintain the shape of a sword, and it sank into the pitch-black hammer. Damn it! Seeing this, the vast ocean universe country leader clenched his fists, his expression extremely ugly. Rumble. After destroying the sharp sword radiance, the black sledgehammer continued to move forward towards Bolin. The current scene was the same as the wind streams that had shattered the ancient wind earlier. This Luo Feng has actually reached such a level. Just what technique is that? He can't even withstand Bolin's 9 illusion true body? From the looks of it, the champion will be this Luo Feng from the Ganwu Universe country. All the spectating experts' gazes were focused on the black sledgehammer, and they couldn't help but discuss it. We're really going to win. In the Ganwu region, including Lu Mubai and the Ganwu Universe country leader. The group of warriors all revealed excited expressions. Ah, Luofeng, you forced me. However, just as the black hammer was about to hit Bolin, the latter suddenly let out an incomparably painful howl. Not long after the howl, deep purple blood droplets appeared from Bolin's body. These blood droplets floated rhythmically on the surface of his body, burning fiercely. Amidst the burning sounds, Bolin's body shook violently, almost as though he was in inhuman pain. At the same time, his entire body began to emit a purple blood mist. His originally smooth white skin began to show large amounts of magic engravings. When Bolin stopped howling, it was as though he had evolved. Other than the burning flames on his body, there was a layer of blood-red armor. Other than that, his dark eyes turned purple as well. Merely looking at them made one's heart tremble. Immediately after, Bolin's body emitted a series of friction sounds, and a violent and terrifying aura spread out. Impossible. This energy has already reached level 9 universe level. How did he do it? Feeling the terrifying energy ripples from Bolin's body, the great beings on the viewing platform, including the various universe country leaders, all had a change of expression. The final victor can only be me. Bolin stared hard at Luofeng, almost like a ferocious beast. Even his roar sounded like it came from the primordial times, echoing throughout the battlefield. The terrifying sound waves reverberated throughout the entire square, shattering the rubble of countless buildings. At this moment, it was as if Bolin had been possessed. He had lost the ability to think like a normal person. His roar carried a heart-palpitating cruelty and brutality, as if it was filled with endless destruction and slaughter. The source of the roar represented the most terrifying calamity in the world. I got it. Demonization. This is demonization. 1,000,000 years ago, this was already a forbidden technique of the human race. Just where did he learn it from? The current situation is whether or not such forbidden techniques are allowed to be used in this competition. The Primal Chaos City leader hasn't said anything yet. Does he agree? When one universe country leader saw the change in Bolin's body, the other universe country leaders all awoke, their expressions growing more and more shocked. Chi. Blood-purple flames gathered on Bolin's fist, after which he fiercely punched at the incoming black hammer. Pong! In the battlefield, the blood-purple flame fist clashed with the black hammer. This time, the black hammer finally had a change. It was still madly swallowing. However, the energy within the blood-purple flames had obviously exceeded its swallowing area. Finally, with a loud explosion, the black hammer exploded, becoming countless black lights that returned to Luofeng's body. Luofeng frowned, immediately pulling away from Bolin, his gaze filled with caution. Luofeng, what other moves do you have? Bolin looked coldly at Luofeng. Even though his face was pale, his energy was obviously much stronger. The violent energy ripples caused the space around to rumble. The current Bolin, I'm afraid only undying fighters can defeat him. Demonization. It's too terrifying. It actually raised his strength to universe level 9. So what? Don't forget, the demonization is a forbidden technique. The longer he trains, the easier it is to lose his mind, until he finally becomes a demon. In the stands, the group of warriors discussed as they watched the battle, occasionally paying attention to the Primal Chaos City leader's movements. Shio! With a sonic boom, a blood-colored rainbow flashed past. Bolin shot out. In an instant, he appeared before Luofeng, following which he punched out. Luofeng squinted, almost as though he was aware of the danger. He quickly weaved his hands and formed a black whirlpool, rushing forward. Pong! Due to the difference in strength, the black whirlpool only lasted for 3 seconds before it was pierced through by Bolin's punch. Luckily, Luofeng had already dodged to the side. Otherwise, under that punch, even if he didn't die, he would be heavily injured. You only know how to dodge now? But don't forget, in terms of speed, I far exceed you. Bolin let out a disdainful snort, looking coldly at Luofeng. The tattoos on his skin began to glow with a blood-red light, looking extremely demonic. Gradually, the blood-purple flames on the surface of his body burned even more vigorously, and his aura rose again. After demonization, Bolin is already infinitely close to undying. Senior, we can't continue the battle. Otherwise, Luofeng will be in danger. That's right. Let's stop the battle and see how the city leader views the demonization. Lu Mubai and the Ganwu Universe Monarch exchanged glances when they sensed that Bolin's aura was getting weaker and stronger. Their faces were filled with worry. However, just as they were about to go up and stop the battle, Chu Bei waved at them, indicating for them to calm down and continue watching. Senior, Luofeng, relax. He is my disciple. How can I watch him get injured without doing anything? Even if that punk demonizes, Luofeng can still deal with him. Chu Bei glanced at Lu Mubai, speaking indifferently. Luofeng, let's end it here. In the battlefield, Bolin's silhouette flashed, instantly appearing above Luofeng's head. Just as he shouted coldly, the blood-purple flames condensed into a fire dragon, opening its mouth and roaring as it rushed towards Luofeng. Chapter 582. Why hasn't the Ganwu Universe country leader made a move yet? Don't tell me he's just going to watch Luofeng wither away? The Primal Chaos City leader doesn't seem to be making a move either. Don't tell me he's really allowing Bolin to demonize? If that's the case, wouldn't that be too unfair to Luofeng? He was about to become the champion, yet he was defeated by the demonized Bolin. Looking at the terrifying fire dragon, the warriors in the stands all looked towards the direction of the Ganwu region. However, just as they thought the Ganwu Universe country leader would make a move, they realized that even though his face was filled with worry, his body didn't move at all. It was almost as though the youth Luofeng wasn't from the Ganwu Universe country. Swallowing huge beast. Facing the roaring fire dragon with an undying attack, Luofeng creased his eyebrows, after which he seemed to have made a decision. After which, with a loud roar, a black light flew out from between his eyebrows. This black light, under Luofeng's control, swiftly expanded. In an instant, the black light became a beast that was over 200 m in length. Its body was similar to a lion. Its entire body was covered in black scales, the scales gleaming with a cold light that made one shiver. Other than that, it had a pair of metal wings that were at least 300 m wide. Also, it had a single horn that seemed to pierce through the skies. The black horn had golden engravings that extended all the way to its neck, back, and tail. At first glance, the lion-shaped monster's body seemed to be covered in a layer of gold and black armor. The most frightening thing was its pair of dark golden eyes. They were like the eyes of a god, looking down on everything in the world. Just from the appearance of this gigantic monster, it was bound to be associated with cruel, tyrannical, and other such words. However, if one looked at its huge eyes, they would realize that its gaze was actually similar to Luofeng's. How is that possible? Isn't that the space beast's gold horn race? Different from the humans of Earth, the warriors in the plaza were all knowledgeable and experienced. With one look, they recognized the huge beast. Why would the golden horned beast appear here? And he seems to have an unusual relationship with that Luofeng. Gradually, the expressions of the spectating great beings changed. On the battlefield, the monster seemed to have sensed a provocation as it let out a low growl. It was like the low growl of a god, reverberating through the boundless primal chaos city. Woo! The golden horned beast let out a low roar and charged toward the blood-purple fire dragon, opening its mouth wide. Rumble. Amid a loud boom, the sky above the battlefield darkened, and the space around the giant beast's mouth began to distort. This devouring power was far more terrifying than the previous pitch-black sledgehammer. It was as if two different types of devouring power were mixed together. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The two behemoths collided. In an instant, two opposing colors appeared in the sky above the battlefield. Half of it was black, and the other half was blood purple. Due to the stalemate, the explosions caused by the stalemate caused the space in several directions to collapse. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. As time passed, Just when the great beings thought the two would disappear, the giant beast's devouring power increased again. Soon, the blood-purple fire dragon started to shake madly as if it had lost control. It rushed toward the giant beast's mouth and was completely devoured. Poochie. Just as the blood-purple fire dragon was being devoured, Bolin, who was not far away, seemed to have suffered a backlash. He kept spitting out blood. In the blink of an eye, Bolin's aura was extremely weak, and his face was extremely pale. Luofeng looked at Bolin calmly without a hint of sympathy. He waved his right hand, and the giant beast suppressed Bolin. "How dare you? You colluded with a space beast, learned its precious technique, and even dared to hurt my disciple. You don't know your place." Just as the black light ball from the giant beast's mouth was about to hit Bolin, the vast ocean universe country leader's murderous voice reverberated through the plaza. Chila. Just as vast ocean universe country leader's enraged voice reverberated through the chaos square, the black ball of light spat out by the beast's mouth, which was about to hit Bolin, suddenly exploded and disappeared as if it had been hit by an invisible force. Then, under countless gazes, the vast ocean universe country leader appeared beside Bolin and fixed his cold gaze on Luofeng. Luofeng realized that the situation was not good when he met the vast ocean universe country leader's gaze. He immediately recalled the golden-horned beast into his body. "Little guy, what's your relationship with the Space Beast clan? Why did they teach you the race's innate godly technique? Did you leak some secret of the human race?" The vast ocean universe country leader stared at Luofeng and pointed his finger. A beam of godly rainbow shot out. Long, long, long. Wherever the godly rainbow passed, the void space collapsed. It was as if everything was still. Although the vast ocean universe country leader didn't use all his strength, the energy contained in the godly rainbow was definitely not something Luofeng could withstand. The vast ocean universe country leader is attacking Luofeng. Could it be that the power Luofeng used was really taught by the Space Beast clan? But isn't Luofeng from the Ganwu universe country's All-Heaven shop? Could it be that the All-Heaven shop is also related to the Space Beasts? The vast ocean universe country leader is a knight. Even a casual attack from him could easily kill Luofeng. On the spectator stands, the great beings saw the vast ocean universe country leader attacking Luofeng, and their expressions changed instantly. "Han Feng, what reason do you have to attack a battle between juniors? Are you a sore loser?" At that moment, the Ganwu universe country leader's furious voice resounded in the air above the chaos square. The next moment, he punched, and a dazzling fist print went toward the godly rainbow shot out by the vast ocean universe country leader. However, before the fist print of the Ganwu universe country leader could hit the godly rainbow, a dark light touched the godly rainbow even faster. Chi. The dark light and the godly rainbow clashed. The moment they touched, the godly rainbow shot out by the vast ocean universe country leader was swallowed by the dark light. The Ganwu universe country leader has indeed attacked. No, the one who blocked the attack of the vast ocean universe country leader isn't the Ganwu universe country leader. It's someone else. What? Then who could it be? That dark light's energy seems to come from the same source as the energy Luofeng used before. However, compared to the former, the power Luofeng is using is simply too minuscule. Countless great beings focused their gazes on the dark light that swallowed the attack of the vast ocean universe country leader. After sensing the aura fluctuations carried by the black light, their faces were immediately filled with astonishment. What? The young one can't beat him, so the old one came out? At that moment, a mocking laughter resounded in the chaos square. Although the voice wasn't loud, it was clear enough to be heard by everyone. Then, a young man in a purple robe appeared before Luofeng. He crossed his arms in front of his chest and looked at the vast ocean universe country leader mockingly. Who is this? How dare he speak to the vast ocean universe country leader like that? He's from the Ganwu universe country. As for his specific identity, I don't know. The Ganwu universe country leader hasn't even spoken. How could it be his turn? At that moment, the great beings on the spectator stands all looked at Chu Bei and tried to guess his identity, You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.